Friends, good evening. May 7th, 2023, Virtual Strangers, episode 186 is live. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, as always, are my good friends. Eric, what the hell are you doing here, bro?
Take care of me. I'm like,
he heard game of the month, and he's like, you couldn't beat us with a stick to keep him warm.
I knew it was going to be a hot press, like game of the month contention. So I'm like, I got to be here for this.
The voting, right? Yeah.
It is a pleasure to be here as always.
Yeah, makeup shows, right? I mean, you missed like 6 weeks, so we got to get those back.
Yep. At least that's contractual.
It is. It's
Yeah.
in my agreement.
That's true.
I have to fulfill so many per year.
Yeah.
Ruuts, how's your Sunday going, brother?
It's going good. I got all my cleaning done that I do on the side, and everything's good except for Mash Daddy and his craziness with whatever he's doing over there on his end of the neck of the woods that's making all this weird technical issues. So weird how everything works great, and then all of a sudden it just doesn't, and there's like weirdness, and we're like having to redo stuff. And I felt like I was GT for a minute at the beginning of CruCast.
I'm with you, man. You know what? I streamed last night, and I do the same thing every week. Nothing changes, right? For some reason, audio was terrible in my stream last night. It was like my mic audio was great, but the game audio was crackling, popping, had all kinds of like feedback in it. And then I went in to play Ghost of the Boar with Betty, and her voice through Discord was like a freaking robot. That didn't work at all.
Robo Betty.
And I've come to the conclusion that I normally stream with my Quest 2, my Quest Pro, wired with the the link cable. Well, for some reason last night when I clicked to go to connect to PC with my headset, I didn't unclick AirLink even though I connected my link cable. So I had my link cable plugged in, but I was still running AirLink. And I've come to the conclusion that for streaming or anything that you have to do where you're going to use your audio or your signal, AirLink is the biggest piece of shit in the world. It's still not good enough. It's still fucking not good enough. Like we're this far in, and AirLink still kind of sucks. Like it's good for like everything. Like if I just want to play, it's fine. But if I want to do anything else, like that was the issue last night. All the issue was AirLink. My link cable was fine. If I had just clicked the right box and unchecked use AirLink, I would have been fine.
Oh wow. Yeah, it's definitely not virtual desktop for sure. Remember when AirLink was coming out and people were like, oh my god, virtual desktop is dead. And like it's so far not dead. It's like constantly making pushing technology and stress or pushing everything extra, right, compared to AirLink. So
it's just getting to the point for me where like I get a gag reflex anytime someone talks about using an Oculus headset to play PCVR. Like we tried to do Ghost of Tabor the other night, and I mean I spent hours in this freaking game, Ruuts, collecting stuff, and you know it's hard enough to survive, but when you make it to the end of an awesome run, key card, full backpack, and then your fucking headset just drops right before you extract a couple of times. That's pretty crazy. I literally get this, Ruuts. I had to switch to my G2 for stability reasons because my GT doesn't crash, but my Oculus headsets do.
That's crazy, man. And that's what those type of games are like. The thrill, right? You have all this shit, and usually it's not you disconnecting. It's usually all of a sudden you just hear a gunshot and you're dead, and it's like, oh man, because that's the thing. That's where you get I get salty, as I know I've got something I really want to get out of there, and then I die, and I know somebody else is like joyfully like fucking looting my body like a vulture and taking my stuff. Immerse Robot, Gary says he does not have problems with AirLink as well as Bluebell and Techno Glitch. And so
let me clarify. I don't have a problem with AirLink when I'm just playing. You know, and that's what 90% of you guys probably do. So I'm streaming. The problem is I'm live streaming, right? So I need audio to be perfect. Because if I live stream and the game audio sounds like shit, that's a major problem. So I agree with you. I don't have any issues with AirLink when I'm just playing. If I'm just playing for me and it's just me in my living room playing, I'll go Airlink all the time. I use a Bobo battery and I switch on and off all the time. I don't have an issue. But the thing is, Airlink, I cannot use it streaming. I have
Right.
to be link cabled to the PC to use Airlink, and to me, that's still an issue. Like I get it that it's not an issue for most of the people, but for the people out there that are streaming, we're trying to put content out there to make this stuff look great. And if I put it out there and it looks like shit or sounds like shit, that's bad.
I just want a DisplayPort. Don't give me Airlink. I mean, Airlink, I guess that Airlink obviously is going to be what it is, but even the link cable, I don't like it, and I'm not even talking compression. I'm just talking, there's a reason why my Rift S outside of, being 80 frames just works, because you plug it in and the DisplayPort works and there's not weirdness with the 3.0. And I don't know. I don't think the technology's there, and I just wish they would have just given me a DisplayPort, give me an option. So.
It has a cable, bro.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
How do you play with that?
I don't know, man. Like, what am I doing, dude? I'm slumming it with a cable. I don't ever take my cable off, and maybe it's just me being lazy. I just don't, and so like, it doesn't seem to be an issue for me. I get it that a lot of people really love to like fucking jump around their leapfrog in their room and stuff. I just don't do that in my room. So
I want a jump button. Like all games should have a jump button.
Yes.
It's mandatory.
I think it should, especially if it's a shooter. I think this is the thing, like one of the best things to do, and this is one of the reasons I wish Breachers had it, besides the fact that I just want to jump, is jump up like in a corner on top of a chair, right? Like in real life, I'm not going to like get up next to the corner next to the chair and look at it and say, well, I guess I can't stand on this chair. Like I just want to jump up in the corner and like be able to.
Actually, spots you can pull yourself now. I found that out.
What's that?
I found that out. The spots you can actually pull yourself up onto desks and shit.
Really?
Like, so what you're talking about for the jump button, I didn't realize this either, but not everything. But there are spots where you can like use the grip button with your hand and reach out and pull yourself up onto like.
Are you
boxes.
supposed to, or is that like some kind
Yeah,
of
no.
glitch?
There's specific spots where you can get
Okay.
into and where you can climb up on shit. I was like, wow, I didn't know that either. Because I was the same way. I'm like, I want to jump up on the freaking chairs and the desks and boxes and hide.
Yeah, I love doing that in like traditional type of games like that, where then you just have a jump button. Yeah, this is the thing too. Everybody freaks out. Everybody wants the most immersive thing in the world. Like in real life, I can jump in a corner. I can jump up on stuff, but let's give it a pass. It's no big deal. So.
Yeah, I mean, for what it is, the game's pretty awesome.
It's
just
awesome.
It's one of the things that you notice pretty quickly, not just in this game, but any game that has you waiting on people for a moment. We need to run and jump while we wait, Ruuts.
Yeah.
I just love running and jumping. I get it. It's not that big a deal. It's just I just want to know why there's no jump, aside from the fact I don't want to put it in there.
I will say that I went and played on Friday night with like the crew that usually plays Friday nights in the party chat, and I think I'm closer into agreement with what Techno Glitch said when the game launched or right after the game launched.
Maps.
It needs a new map.
Yeah.
Bad. Like, I'm not saying it. He was like, if it doesn't have a map in a month, it's dead. And I'm not saying I'm going that far, but I'm saying like right now they need to, and then they already have one because they're teasing one. They've shown shots of it, screenshots. They have one coming, but they need it sooner than later. They need that, and they need a new game mode.
They need 9 maps. They need 3 times as many at least, and yeah, they need new game modes besides the breachers type of stuff. I'd love domination.
They just need more everything.
Yeah,
they need more everything, dude. It's like Firewall Light right now. After the novelty of the new gadgets and things wear off, then it's just like Firewall Light. With the fraction of the maps and obviously. Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to get too critical of it because it is new and there is time to go with it. It's a fun gameplay loop. It's tried and tested in traditional games as well as VR games at this point. They just need more. It
just needs
more
progression. Progression would be amazing, and that was like one of the things that we said about After the Fall being so much more fun for you. And all of us, really, the fact that we had to progress our guns again, it was like, Same thing with Ghost of Tabor. It's kind of why a wipe, even though a lot of people don't like it, it's kind of necessary. It keeps that interest coming, right? Otherwise, people get stale after a while and they don't want to go back in. But if you get a fresh start, you want to get back in and do it all over again. So,
In Team
I
Deathmatch,
just want
I don't understand why Team Deathmatch is only one map. There's one map for Team Deathmatch. I mean, you get what, 3 or 4 maps, I think, for the other, for Breach. But
yeah, why
only one
can't you
map.
use the other maps for Team
People
Deathmatch?
love Team. I mean, I'm not a huge Deathmatch fan. Like, I would prefer the Breaches, but I like the Deathmatch one mixed in every once in a while. Like, so, give me more maps for it, and I would probably like it better. I'd get in there more, because it is good. But I don't know, Wes. At least it actually freaking plays.
That's
yeah,
true.
right, right. We'll get to that later as we talk about the game of the month. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Meta. Since we were here last week, Ruuts Meta has revealed that they're finally 6 weeks later than typically happens, they're finally going to come with us and give us a Quest gaming showcase or a Meta gaming showcase, just days ahead of the rumored Apple headset announcement. What's your general optimism level, Roots, for the games? They're calling this their longest showcase ever at right around 40 minutes. They're also going to be leading in with new trailers, and they're going to after the thing's over, they're going to have developer interviews. Um, so, what's your general optimism level here for this? Are we going to get some cool surprises, or do you think it's just going to be more of the same from Meta?
First off, let me tell you specifically because I forgot to mention before the show. When I went to get the link for the next article, it was the same link as this one. So if you want to relink the Apple one,
Well.
so I can fix that when I'm
Oh no,
after.
no. That's one link. It's the same. It's just so long that
Oh,
that
okay, all right. Never mind. Then that's why I was like, "What the hell?" Yeah, I hope so. I'm cautiously optimistic. I mean, at some point, something needs to be announced. There's all these games floating around there that we know exist. All these different developers they've picked up. They haven't done shit. Big name ones, right? The teaser with Asgard's Wrath. You know what that's gonna be. I think we're going to get something this time because Apple's about to do theirs, because Sony's about to do theirs. They know Sony's about to drop a bombs, and the Quest 3 is right around the corner. So I think this is going to be more than what we've had in the past. Probably not everything we want, but my optimism is like maybe a 75%. I hope. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty optimistic for Meta over the last year and a half or so. They've been relatively quiet when it comes to what they're working on in house. Eric, what about you? What's your optimism level here? You think we're going to be blown away?
I think I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm saying this one is going to knock it out of the park.
oh.
Meta's going to big dick drop something here, and they want to get out there and get ahead of everybody else. They know Apple is about to drop something big. I know for a fact that Meta has games that they've been sitting on for a while. My biggest question is: are they announcing these? Are these games that they're announcing going to be, Quest 3 games? Or are these Quest 2, Quest 3 games, or what? How they're going to handle that part of it? But do I think this is going to be like a kick-ass showcase? I'll go on a limb right now and say I think this is going to be probably the biggest showcase they've ever had.
I don't think it'll be Quest 3 only. Definitely is going to be 2, 3. They're just now completely cutting ties with 1, and they just announced not too long ago that Quest 2 is not going anywhere. Whether the question for me is whether they focus even on Quest 3 at all. You know what I mean? Or if it even comes up in the discussion, will they bring it up? Will we hear anything about Quest 3? You know?
Yeah, that's a question. Most people say no, but I'm not so sure. I mean, they're going late for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And maybe they wanted to just drop a bunch of gaming stuff on top of the Apple announcement, but the Apple announcement's not going to have anything to do with gaming. So I find it curious that they've decided to wait and go later. If they don't mention or allude to the next version of Quest at all, I probably will come out a little confused, to be honest.
Biggest question is Zuck an alien? because I would say I'm
I
probably
hate
75% on that too, because that dude's pretty weird, man. Either that or he's just very awkward.
See,
How are
to
we
me,
going?
he is awkward for sure. But to me, I think they know they need to pivot off the Apple headset, and I think whether they want to or not, they know that gaming is a huge source for them, and they know that they tried to pivot away from gaming too fast. Again, whether they want to or not, they might be begrudgingly doing this, but they're going to heavily hit on gaming, especially with the Quest 3 coming, and they know that the Apple headset is going to push a non-gaming platform. There's no way that Meta's going to come out with a soft show
Mm.
right when they know they would look so bad. Think about how bad they would look if right before was it right before or right after is the Apple one? Is it right
I think
before?
it's right before
It's right before
Meta's right
one.
before Apple.
If Apple comes out with this amazing thing and they show this headset and it's going to be freaking amazing and people flip out of it,
Mm.
and then Meta comes out of the gate with this shitty showcase that's showing games that we already know about or looks like crap, there's no way they're going to do that. Like
Mm.
I just have to think that they're going to come out and they're going to want to show everybody that they are here as a VR gaming headset, and they're going to blow us away with the games that we're going to be coming. We're going to be seeing this fall.
What if they perfected their legs though, Eric, and they were like
Like,
really showing that off?
hey, legs, everybody! Good night. 40 minutes of legs. We're out of here.
Well, we did that
Oh.
Horizon Worlds thing in Neos the other day. It's hilarious because you go into the world and you have your full avatar, and then this big, like, long list of terms and conditions comes up where you have to authorize them, getting your blood type and your credit check and everything. And as soon as you click accept, your legs disappear. It's pretty funny.
That is
Um,
funny.
Speaking of Horizon Worlds, how are you guys going to watch this meta showcase? Are you going to stay in meat space and watch it on a flat panel, or are you going to go into Horizon Worlds and watch it in its cartoony goodness in there?
When is it?
June 1st.
June 1st, and what day is that? That's the question.
It's
I
Thursday.
don't.
Thursday, June 1st.
See, for me, my boss decides that. Like I might not even be able to watch it at all. Chances are I'll be out spraying some roaches or something, So I'll watch it after the fact. I
Awesome.
guess I could watch. You can watch it. Can you watch it in the headset after the fact or no?
I
Or is it
don't
gotta be
know. I
live?
don't know if you can. I'm
Okay.
not sure at all about that. I watched it live last year. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it. How it was actually one of the better ones, right? Like they did some cool things that kind of was shocked you, right? Or not shocked, but just what you weren't expecting.
Yeah, they had dynamic environments. So, like for example, when they started talking about Among Us, everything kind of switched to
Mm.
Among Us. Although I think that's Connect that I'm thinking about. It
Okay.
wasn't the gaming showcase. So I'm not so sure if it'll if they've got anything like that planned for this showcase, but I hope so. It was cool enough.
Yeah.
I'll be at AWE. I'll be getting ready to do a talk with Todd at AWE.
Uh,
Do our talk.
Nice.
well, I got to say
4 p.m. Yes,
it's been a long time coming that you've needed to have a talk with Todd. So
Yeah, I
You
think you should
know
have a
that one.
talk with him. Be stern with
We
him,
might
but be
need to
loving
do it
because he's a
faster
nice guy.
than that. Yeah, that's true. But
Is
yeah,
he-
so I don't even know what I'm gonna. Well, I'll probably just be watching it somewhere from there on my phone or something. I don't know. I'll be watching it for sure. I just don't know. Like, I definitely won't be streaming. I know
Oh, I thought you were going to do a live stream.
that. No, I think you
Oh.
could. You
Yeah, we could. I mean, I could do it if everything lines up perfect. So
we'll see. I would call it just as likely as not that we end up streaming it from somewhere on one of these channels. We contribute to a few.
that's true.
Mhm.
That's very true.
Anyway, why don't we say hello to our friends in chat? We do have a lot of stuff to get to today, so we best not dilly dally. Brandon's here. What's up, Brandon? As is Michelle B, Hussein X. Hello, hello. Wolveraza, Techno Glitch. Scion's here. Of course, Scion's here. Roots. We have Into the Radius we're talking about. We're talking about Firmament. How could Scion not be here for this?
And the headset, new headset. He said he's not big on Meta headset, so he's ready for the Valve one, I think. Or actually, he said PlayStation, I think, right?
Yeah. I think he is going to get a PSVR 2 when the right moment presents itself.
Yeah, I say do it now. The right
Do
moment
it.
is now.
I agree. Immersed Robot is with us. What's up, Gary? Lesser Logic is here as well. Beard of Power 666 is here. Sprag Guy's here. He says Valve announcement right before the Meta showcase. Maybe.
Very
I think it would be more likely to come right before OC Connect or something though. But yeah, maybe. Thomas McNostrils here. Bluebell is here. JS. Hawk 107. Rogue TR. What's up? What's up? What's up? Mark Pringlesleeve is here as well. Mickey Barrios here. Scott Jesco, the PSN Harry Fellow, the PSVR Game Cat for Life
Damn.
is here.
That's a handle right there, boy.
Yeah, it's a
That is.
mouthful.
Say that one,
You know
Can
who
you
else
say that
loves a
one again?
mouthful?
My mom!
Spry Guy says it's hard to believe Scion's still on a CV1 Rift. And that is hard to believe. That's definitely worth
gonna be
he's got his money's worth.
It's going to be a big step up for him, no matter where he goes or what he gets. He's going to be like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
even you know what, the Rift S is still not good either, because Wes was on the Rift S the other night too, and he sounded like a friggin' robot the whole entire night. So the audio is shit on
Yeah.
that headset. So I mean, there's not many perfect headsets out there. And you know what? Everybody's touting the Valve Index. Guess who just had to replace their 6th set of Valve knuckle controllers?
Skiva?
Yeah.
Skiva. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
no,
you
those
don't hear Valve
controllers
either
are,
is like the end all be all.
it's just so, to me, the irony is so thick on that one, considering that was what we all were so excited about, those controllers, man. The knuckle controllers, dude. I was so jealous. I wanted them so bad. And then they turned out to be the shittiest part. Well, they're amazing when they work. Let's put it that way. So
I just want to crush those cans, bro.
yes, we didn't get to crush the cans. I feel like I missed out on Half-Life Alex. That's probably why I'm like not like a Half-Life Alex fanatic. If I had to been able to crush the cans, I think I would be.
I mean, to be fair though, Skiva's got some big mitts on him. He's got some paws.
That's true, but he's not the only one that breaks his controllers.
That's true.
So
Artful's here. Artful says that we need to wait till the 4th of June. Waiting, bro.
may the 4th be with you. Oh wait, that's the next month.
Yeah.
Scion says Meta announces 20 new cooking games.
Yeah, probably. Or like Mash said, Beat Games sequel to Beat Saber 2, right? Be cool. Like you have a sickle, like a cool like sickle instead of a saber. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Decepticon wants to know where's Lies Beneath 2. They actually, that studio just released a new flat game.
Did they really?
So everybody go give them shit for not making VR games anymore.
Yeah.
Already did.
Did you really?
Yeah, of course I did. Absolutely I did. I saw their new game and I DM'd them. I'm like, hey, this game looks awesome. It's going to be in VR. Nah, unfortunately, this is for traditional only right now. You're dead to me.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. James is here. James says, I'm putting my $5 referral store credit down on Meta announcing cloud VR gaming on June 1st. Man, would that be a fucking revolution if they were to do that?
I'll tell you what. We all know that's where everything's going anyway. And when they are able to announce that, and then the Quest 3, it won't matter how powerful it is. I mean, it will in a sense, but if they're connecting to a cloud to get these games, right? It'd be amazing.
Maybe we'll finally get that announcement that Oculus Link works on Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah, Xbox. It's doing real well right now too, right?
Yeah.
I'm still seeing people, Xbox game fanboys defending, saying basically what Phil Spencer what he said isn't true. And I'm like, dude, he fucking came out and said it, dude. It's just funny.
I would
Crush
love
their
to see that
souls.
partnership though. That partnership makes so much sense to me. Like at Meta Connect this fall. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, announcing something. And a partnership between Meta and Xbox makes perfect sense. They've partnered before. They're already partnered on a couple other different things. They announced last year at Meta Connect a partnership in doing Microsoft Teams and workrooms and doing other things in business part. It's not that big of a jump to think they could do something in can you imagine all those licenses that Microsoft has if they were going to be ported to to VR and they would be exclusive on Meta? That would be
man.
amazing, dude. then it's a different
Yeah.
ball game, man. All it would be crazy.
Well,
PCVR gaming would be back again for Meta.
we've said that like 4 years ago, right? We were like, man, it would make perfect sense. And if they were doing that behind the scenes, I mean, you know, that would make sense why Xbox is kind of just chilling and going a different direction. So I don't know.
Mepper's here. What's up, Mepper? EV Man versus Gas fixed his handle. It's easier to read now, Ruuts. Did you see that?
I did not.
There's spaces in there now. So it's EV Man versus Gas. Legit.
Nice.
That is legit.
Je ne sais quoi is here. What's up, Jenna? Looper the Underground Game Cat is here as well. I see. We're getting up toward the top, I think now, maybe. Seeing a lot of the same names. Got to keep scrolling though. Rogue TR's here. See, if I didn't keep scrolling, I wouldn't know that Rogue TR's here. What's up? And
Guido-
Four Wheeling, of course.
Guido's on his way back to work. Have a good night, Guido.
Take it easy, dude.
Tell
Good
those
seeing you.
people over there.
Guido.
Tell management they suck.
For real.
Tell them I said thank you.
Yeah, really. Yeah, thank you.
I love those.
Me
guys.
too. Me too. Quick cosplays here. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Chinatown D. What's up, D? Cheeto Wendy. What's up? Does anybody have more aliases than D, Ruuts?
I don't know. Oh, that reminds me. She's gonna stream after the show. She's not doing Resident Evil. She's doing that new Star Wars game that she bought for PlayStation 5.
Okay.
She's doing it in VR. She's
Yeah.
doing Star Wars in VR.
She's doing Star Wars flat on PlayStation 5.
But anyway, so
Ooh.
but she needs 17 more followers to
Do it in
for
VR.
affiliate.
I'll do
So
it.
everybody
I
needs
will
to go.
Get 17 for her if she does it in VR.
Everybody needs to go to Dee's Twitch, which I'm about to link, and follow her. She only needs 17 more. And then after the stream, she'll have enough requirements to be affiliate.
Make her stream PowerPoint.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Christopher
well,
just-
that's the thing.
mine
She
today.
can start. She can do that too. Maybe you should do that, D. Not
Yeah.
tonight, but I mean Farpoint in general.
She could stream that whole game.
So everybody,
lot
everybody,
more.
go
28 hours
give her
a
a follow. Oh, Spry's already beat me to it,
Nice. Surprise on it, as
She-
always.
and she needs 15. She's at 35 right now.
Get it.
So
Will it count if
I'll
I
go watch
unsubscribe
tonight.
and do it again?
yeah, I think that just keeps it as the same.
Mick Purcell is with us. Hello, Mick. Let's see. Mind Jive is here as well. What's up, Mind Jive? And not sure Brondo says paste picante hot makes the best spaghetti sauce. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because
Spaghetti.
my dad does the exact same thing. So I thought it was only him, but I guess not. I guess Brondo in that camp as well.
I was gonna say,
Interesting.
get a
Never
rope.
heard of that.
William Mumford's here. Says, hey, everyone, heads up that the Crisis VR mod just got a motion controls release day today in case anyone's interested in checking it out. Yeah, I've kind of had my eye on that Crisis VR mod a little bit. So if it's got a motion controller update, that's pretty sweet.
What about the Unreal Engine VR mod?
I don't want to say too much about that, but people might want to tune in to the VR CruCast tomorrow because I can't say because
Well, oh man, I'm excited. I better tune in.
How dare you
Yeah.
tease everybody?
How dare you?
dare
and
you.
at the very tippy top we have Chrome Colossus. What's up? That's as far as I can go. If I missed you, I apologize. I want to thank everyone for showing up and hanging out with us today. Ruuts, my friend, let's talk some VR.
The land of opportunities. The committee assures you that the Majorsk security zone is under total control. By By taking advantage of our free will missions program, you will access advanced and reliable equipment. Balanced nutrition, latest technology, and comfortable living environment. Staying inside the radius offers unmatched benefits. The Changed can enjoy the pure ecology of the radius, its unique wildlife, and plenty of leisure opportunities.
Oh, you can hear me.
Simply follow our guidelines at all times and avoid suspicious encounters. Venture into the radius. Explore the unknown. Become a hero. The land of opportunities. You're trapped in forever. The land.
A sequel to the Stalker-like VR game Into the Radius is in the works. This from mixednews.com. The survival game Into the Radius is getting a second chapter, which is already in development. This was announced by the Estonian studio CM Games on Steam this past week. Quote, the second chapter of Into the Radius is being developed. We are in the pre-production phase and will follow an early access development model like before when the time is right. The studio is reluctant to reveal any details about the sequel. However, they have hinted that many suggestions and ideas from the community have been taken into account in this new installment. Quote, the original Into the Radius is a testament to how much our community has helped us in developing the game. And we want to continue this trend in the sequel. The first game, originally developed for PCVR and released for MetaQuest 2 in September, has entered its final development cycle, the studio states. CM Games plans to release 2 more updates and then end development, except for, of course, necessary bug fixes and tweaks. The coming update 2.7 is expected to refine the story and bring technical improvements, while update 2.8 is expected to bring mod support for the PCVR version. The Quest 2 version may also receive mod support. At least the studio does not rule out the possibility. More will be revealed later this year. So a lot to unpack here, Ruuts. First of all, mod support for Into the Radius. How cool is that?
That is cool. What kind of mod would you put in there? Would you would you want Mario characters running around? I thought that was kind of cool with that mod for the Left 4 Dead for people that don't like zombies and stuff. You know, put stuff in there that aren't scary or whatever. I wouldn't have thought of it for myself, but it's kind of cool.
New maps. I mean, just having new maps would be fucking awesome in this game. Although the maps that are in there are cool, and you have to familiarize yourself with them pretty well to progress in the game. But it's cool. It's cool that one that they're still supporting this game, and it's cool that they're bringing us a sequel. Eric, I just have one question for these dudes. What about PlayStation VR 2? No word of whether or not Into the Radius is coming to PSVR 2. That concerns me a little bit.
It's got a cable. They don't want to go.
Yeah, fuck the cable, dude. That's a big problem in VR.
Dude, if they are not going there, that is a big miss for them. There's a lot you can do. I mean, think about all the things you can do with this game on the PlayStation VR 2. I mean, this game was perfect for that with the OLED lenses and the darkness in this game. Especially even the first game. Like if they're not actively still even porting the first game over, they should be doing that. Number one. They're a big enough studio now; they can probably do 2 things at one time. So if they're working on the second game, I hope they have a team that's still already working on the original going to PlayStation VR 2. But if they're not working on either, that's a big miss for them, in my opinion. But I mean, they're going to do well just because, they will have, there's a lot of people that love this game, and this will be a huge title when it comes out that people will look for now.
Yeah, man. Already super immersive. I mean, if you put it on PlayStation VR 2 with those next gen features, it's just going to take it up to the next level again.
I'd be shocked.
Um,
The developers
me too.
here are they're such overachievers. They're so meticulous. They love their game. You can tell. They just keep working on it. Like, I don't know if they'll ever finish working on this game. They just keep adding on to it. I'd be shocked if it's not coming to PlayStation VR 2. My question would be, when is it coming to PlayStation VR 2? And Mickey Bear doing what Mickey does, dropping an Into the Radius Steam key into the chat. So
Boom.
somebody's going to be playing the first one. And people in the chat were saying that the sequel, West, the trailer looks just like the first one. And as somebody pointed out, it's because the trailer is the first one.
Yeah.
And this is the reality. This they just told us, hey, we're starting on a second one. Like, they haven't even, I don't even know if they've broke ground. Like, it'd be like expecting to go into a restaurant that they just said is moving into the neighborhood. They haven't even broke ground yet. So we'll get one eventually, right?
Yeah, and for what it's worth, this is a great looking game. Even if they were to do a sequel that's just a brand new story campaign with brand new maps, I mean, I would be okay with that. This game is pretty awesome. I'll tell you what, I am a little bit concerned about though. Roots is, when Into the Radius hit early access, it was rough, man. It
Mhm.
was really rough. And they're saying here in these quotes that they're going to follow a similar path through early access with two. Are you at all concerned that when two lands, it's not going to be ready yet?
I'm hoping that when they say they're following the same path, it'd be like, it's the same path, but we learned a couple, like we know what the step over the branches, don't fall into the holes, and make it take some of what you learned and make it a smoother experience. But these developers, to me, there's a few out there for my personal belief that are like Hello Games that, when they start something, they're gonna finish it, and they've got a vision, and it might take a while to get to that vision, but they're going to get there. And so I think it's super cool.
I mean,
Eric,
maybe they mean that they'll take the path of they'll launch on Steam first, work out what they need to work out, and then port to Quest 2 with a more polished version.
Yeah.
I like that path.
Yeah, that sounds like it sounds like something I prefer than the other. I hope they don't come out with a janky mess.
Eric, they say that they're focusing heavily on community feedback as they build their second game. What's the possibility you think that they do a co-op campaign for this one?
That would be a smart thing, but I think the first game was very much like they didn't. I don't think they really wanted that. Like they wanted that alone experience of going out and being by yourself, being like one of the last people around. Being in the space by yourself, doing these things by yourself. It was like part of it. So I don't know. Maybe this one will have a different feel to it. I would love it. I mean, I think it makes sense to me. If you're going to build around community, it's tough to do that with a single player game. You bring co-op into it, and it changes everything.
Yeah, it'd be like Ghost of Tabor with the sci-fi story attached to it to play through instead of just looting.
I would love that if they took the Ghost of Tabor, like that kind of playthrough. Maybe not exactly like that Tarkov style, but close. To where you could go out with squads and look for other people, and I mean, I think that would be cool, man. With that,
Oh, that would be cool.
Holy crap, that would be amazing.
Imagine everybody loads into the map separately, but you can find people and either squad up with them or kill them. I mean, that would be cool.
Yeah, Scion says everything is so much scarier alone. Don't know about that for co-op. And if you think about it, it's like a dystopian, barren world where like nothing is out there except for you and everything going on. So they may not, just for the story alone, they may not want to add a co-op to it.
That's fine. That's fine. But it better be on PSVR too. That's all I'm saying. Like, come on, guys. Don't make us wait. The PCVR gaming community loves this game. On Steam, the title has almost 7,000 positive reviews, and it was also well received on MetaQuest 2, where it became one of the 50 most rated VR games in just half a year after release. So,
It's one of a kind.
again,
There's no other Stalker games out there, right? That I know of in
that's
VR.
right.
So
Yeah. Anyway, super excited for this, man. Like when I read this on their Discord, I think this past week, and as soon as I saw it, I got excited because it's such a great game. Um, it's good that we're getting a sequel, and when I read it, I knew it would be the top of our lineup today, and I'm sure it will be atop of many future lineups. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. Guys, we're almost at 3,000. Did you see we're like, I don't know, 20,
So close.
2976 or something like that?
Hey, that's everybody out there. If you're out there, let's help virtual strangers. Oh wait, that's us.
Yeah, right. Hey,
Get over
you
the
just did a really
hump.
good job for D. Can you do it for us?
Yeah, exactly. Except for I think everybody's probably already subbed. No, you guys can't all sub.
No.
Just give us
I
a
bet
couple
they're
not.
subs.
I bet you're not. You sons of bitches.
I was
dare
looking
you?
at our
How dare
I was
you?
looking at our analytics a few days ago
Mm.
on YouTube. Over half of the people that watch are not
Oh
subscribed.
wow. Well, you guys need to get over there and subscribe, or don't. I mean, it's up to you.
How
But
dare they?
how dare you?
How dare you?
Just help. Help. It's all about the algorithm, right? So
That's right. The evil algorithm. The only way we can battle the evil algorithm is through clicking things. Click
yeah.
the red button, click the bell, click the thumb, leave a comment. That's what we need from you all.
You know what I
Please.
hate is like when content creators are like, subscribe. Oh, wait, that's what we just did.
Thumbs up, like, subscribe.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's all good. We didn't use any cheesy sounds or anything, so we're good.
Right, exactly. Anyway, a sequel coming to popular VR game Into the Radius in the somewhat distant future, but that's not the only sequel announcement that we had this week. So announced this past week on the Green Sky Games Discord server, Swarm 2 is in active development. Guys, no headline here. No headlines. No one covering this at all. Not any single publication that I could see that picked up on this news. So, Roots, we do what we often do when faced with these sorts of situations. We make the headline. This is a top-rated action game on Quest Store,
Yeah,
and it's getting a sequel. That's exciting.
that is exciting. And I was just thinking, I was telling you guys, I'm sure Alien Care is out there just jumping for joy for this game. I almost went back into this game today. I re-downloaded it. I'm going to go back into it. I haven't played it for a while. But there's nothing like this game, like, or at least the first one. I can't wait to see the second one. You know, like you were saying when we were talking in between scenes, it's a concept. That was a concept trailer, right? So it's not even real the game. So I just think that the first one was so good. It was just fantastic, and I'm getting more of it. I love it.
Yeah, we went on and on and on about this game and Crashland for a year or more when those games launched and we discovered them, and they hold up today. They're still among the top, uh, best arcade style games on the Quest Store. And for what it's worth, deal alert, ladies and gentlemen, Crashland is on a daily deal for about 9 or 10 more hours, like 35% off. You can get Crashland for like $13 right now.
That's the best
That's
shooter, wave shooter ever. We need to get back into that game. That game is, I never beat it, Wes, and that's a hard game. That gets fucking crazy right after what, level 12 or something, or some insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That game, if that game was actively worked on and if he was able to, and now it's a single dude, And if he was able just to add more or do co-op with that game, I think it really would have had a chance to blow up. But like, I don't think he's really touched the game since it launched, which is, it's fair. It's a complete game as it is, and it deserved to be played. But I just think, not enough people knew about it, and
Still
man, I
don't.
love
A
that
lot of
game.
people
It's
still don't know
yeah,
about it.
no, I know.
Everybody go buy Crashland right now while it's on sale before
$13.
the timer runs out.
Yeah, it's
Literally,
definitely worth it.
you can't find a better deal for 13. I mean, it's there's so much gameplay there, and I guarantee it would take you hours upon hours to even think about completing it. This game gets so hard and so challenging. It's so good.
Yeah,
And by the way, Swarm not just on Quest, Swarm also on Steam VR, and if I'm not mistaken, Viveport Infinity you can play Swarm.
and it's cross-buy. If you do have it on
Yeah.
Quest, I believe you, or vice versa, on the Oculus store.
Oh, and it's coming with a new Apple headset. Oh no, wait.
No,
I can't.
wait. No, it comes with a Pico 4. No, I'm just kidding.
You gotta have controllers.
Yeah. Well, hand tracking, Mash.
Oh, that's like you'd be like
Spider-Man
you would
with
be like
guns,
Spider-Man,
dude.
You
Yeah.
throw,
Yeah, for real.
you
How do you
shoot
do
rope,
Spider-Man
bro.
with guns?
Throwing rope.
Eric, we love Swarm. Like it's one of our favorite Quest games, and in general VR games. Looking at this prototype proof of concept footage that we watched coming in here, um, it does look like it's going to retain everything that we love about the original Swarm, but some notable improvements, especially with the way that the levels are laid out. Doesn't look nearly as arena based as the original one. The original one kept you in a very confined space that you could, ascend vertically, but horizontally, the boundaries were kind of tight. Looks like we're going to get some much bigger maps in this and be able to kind of move around a little more than we were able to in the original, which I think is cool.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what if they completely change it up and it's like level based and not just arena based, like a wave shooter? What if it is like campaign based and you're going through like like a
Like
course?
Spider-Man with
Yeah.
guns.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Spider-Man with guns, dude. Who doesn't love Spider-Man with guns?
But I mean, if you're looking to do, part 2, you need to kind of change things up. If you do the same thing, you're going to be like, why didn't you just make this DLC? So, which they very well could have. So I think they need to change up a little bit. Maybe it's not the whole game, but maybe it's a level or two where it's, I would love to see more campaign based, less wave shootery.
Agreed. Now they have stopped the development for the multiplayer mode for the original Swarm that also was a part of this announcement. They said it just didn't live up to their standard, and they were just going to go ahead and cut bait on it, which I'm fine with. I mean, I'm fine with it if they're doing a sequel, and I would expect probably that what they've done, the kind of foundation they've laid with multiplayer, might find its way into the sequel.
Have you tried it,
Hopefully.
Wes? I know Eric and I were saying we've never tried multiplayer for whatever reason. Well, I know the reason. They just took so long implementing it that I just never went into it.
What's that, Ruuts? You just said we should stream it Friday night?
Oh yeah, well, we definitely should stream it for sure.
We should.
Sure.
I think we were thinking
my
about that at one point, and then we just never ended up doing it.
Our friend AJ getting me back once again with the 554 donation, says Gojira live 10 out of 10. AJ got to go see Gojira and Mastodon live last night, which
What?
totally jealous because I know how awesome that must have been. We're gonna have to stop playing tag though, AJ. When we start doing this back and forth, you know who wins? YouTube and getting their damn 30 or 40% or whatever it is they take. So next time when I donate, just take the tip, bro. Give it back. Anyway, thank you, AJ, for stopping by, saying hello, and sending my money back plus 1 cent. I appreciate it.
Mark Pringlesleaf says, I always find with wave shooters, when you've played one, you've basically played them all. And this is one of the things, Mark, that I know we always say on the show, and I specifically say that's true in most cases. And that's why in VR, or I guess in general, like if you're going to put a wave shooter out, it has to be unique. It has to be special. It's got to be different than every other wave shooter if it's going to be successful. And Crashland is that. It is hands
Swarm
down
too.
And Swarm. Yeah. They're both hands down different. I don't know why we're not even talking about Crashland. They're both hands down two of the best games that are just unique and different. There's nothing like them, and so definitely worth playing for sure. But you're right. That's why the crappy wave shooters aren't worth playing, because they're just like every other one.
Yeah,
So,
these are two very different wave shooters. We agree. You know, we don't like carbon copy clones either. But these are two very different and unique type of wave shooters. Swarm with its locomotion and setup, completely unique to any other kind of a wave shooter. And then Crashland with its dynamic animations or procedural animations, and just overall level of realism and challenge that game provides, along with the unique what were they called, perks, that
the perk system.
the games, yeah, the perks make it just as much about strategy as it is about the actual performance when you're in the levels. And you
uh,
know 50 50 levels in that game,
Huge
and
game.
dude, tough to get to level 10 in it, right?
It's very difficult. I was just thinking the other day, I don't know. I need to go back in and get further. Artful says, and this is true. Isn't that wasn't Resist Spider-Man with guns? Every game. That's why we joke about it, because every game that swings around says it's Spider-Man with guns, or it's Spider-Man in VR. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we always kind of make a joke about everything being Spider-Man with guns, because that's what the articles all say. But yeah, Swarm's awesome, Crashland's awesome. I highly recommend both of them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If you're gonna buy any games
Um,
like that, those are the two right there.
Eric, it wouldn't be a segment about a good game if we didn't end it by saying, "Where's the PSVR 2 version?"
That's
Yeah.
another great question, man. I don't. It's weird. Do you
It's
think?
on PC.
Do you think PlayStation's just holding all this stuff for when they want to announce it, and not allowing the games individually to announce
I
them?
don't know, man. I don't know. I
I mean,
really
PlayStation
don't know
does
with
their own
this one.
shit normally, right? Like, because they could be very easily like, "Yep, no problem. You know, you're able to come and launch on our platform, but we want to be able to control the announcements of these things." So,
Yeah, no, that's true. That they are a little bit hands-on with regard to how they reveal, right?
I mean, I can tell you for a fact, pretty much every developer out there wants to go to the PlayStation VR 2. Like I know many VR developers right now. They all want to go there. So to me, if unless PlayStation, which I already know is not a fact, is saying, "Hey, we don't want your game," or "We don't want games right now," because it's the exact opposite. I think that most of these are coming. I would just assume they're waiting for some reason to announce them.
Well, a lot of developers for a long time too were so focused on everything except PlayStation, and so you got all your eggs, in the PlayStation or the PC basket, the Quest basket, and then to switch everything and go back the other direction. Um, they're probably trying to, but it just takes time.
Michelle B says, "I wish they would have done more with the two Spider-Man demos. For real, like they could give them guns."
Yeah, then they could swing around and shoot stuff. I think Beard of Power 666 has it. It's basically the PlayStation VR 2 has the best chance of making people's Spider-Man and VR dreams come true. And that's pretty much most of those AAA IPs,
Through that.
right? Especially if they're
Well,
Sony's. So
well, Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, and they have Insomniac Games, which is a OG VR developer to boot.
right.
So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming. I'm sure it's coming.
Hope so. Um, okay, so I guess we should be moving along. This next one, though, a little bit of a surprise for me, Roots. I was not expecting this announcement at all.
Operation Wolf.
Operation Wolf returns. First mission VR will be available on June 22nd. Operation Wolf Returns First Mission VR will be available June 22nd, 2023 on Meta Quest 2, PlayStation VR 2, and Pico 4. Microids and Virtualise Gaming are thrilled to announce the release of the rail shooter. Ruuts, it's a rail shooter. Operation Wolf Returns First Mission VR, June 22nd. Man, I just read that line. Why you make me read it again? Develop, Developed and published by Taito in 1987, the arcade game Operation Wolf left a mark for a whole generation of gamers, being one of the first games to offer side-scrolling rail shooting action. Operation Wolf Returns First Mission VR will remain faithful to the spirit of the original game while premiering a new artistic direction. In its solo VR campaign, play as a special agent fighting a new criminal organization. In addition to arms and drug trafficking, the organization, led by the mysterious General Viper, has developed a powerful new weapon. After discovering several of its bases, you will be sent to dismantle the organization, destroy the weapon, and free the hostages held captive in the surrounding camps. The game features the comeback of the 1987 cult arcade game, a new art style, non-stop action, a solo campaign with 6 levels, a survival mode, which is endless waves of enemies, and a full-blown arsenal, submachine gun, shotgun, grenade launchers, etc. Operation Wolf Returns First Mission non-VR version will also be available in fall 2023 in a digital version as well as a day one edition on PS4, PS5, and Nintendo Switch. The game will be available exclusively in digital form on Xbox One, Xbox Series S, and PC. So here we are, Eric. Operation Wolf makes its way to VR. Wherever did they get the idea for this?
Oh my God, one of the best games that we have ever played as Operation Warcade by Ivanovich Games, and they did such a good job of doing the arcade cabinet turned into VR thing. I mean, you guys turned me onto it. Like I hadn't even played it until you guys played it, and then I couldn't get enough of it. It was such a good game. And Ivanovich Games did it first. I'm looking forward to see what this is going to be.
Roots, this is going to be a flat game, bro. This is going to be a flat game with the VR version, which we sometimes see. What we don't normally see, though, Roots, is the VR version come out 3 months before the flat version. That's a little weird.
That is a little weird, but I'm glad that they're doing that. Like if you have a following of a game, give us both. Develop them both side by side, give you a VR version. That's what a mod is, except for it's a professional version of it, right? And so they put it out and everybody wins. So
Eric, I like the idea here. Obviously, we all love Operation Wolf. I'm not opposed to a wave shooter when it's this, right? Like Operation Wolf was a rail shooter, so it would only make sense that it's a rail shooter again. Screenshots look pretty cool. I mean, I like the art style. It's a little cartoony, but it looks good. A little concerned that here we are 6 weeks out, no trailer, no gameplay footage, only a handful of screenshots.
That is odd. Usually by this time, things have gone out, people are being talked about. But you know what? A lot of these companies don't know how to market their games, and they just don't know what to do. I mean, Ivanovich Games pops games out, and they not released for 2 months before anybody even knows they're out there. So there are game developers out there that just quietly launch games because they don't know what to do or they don't have the bandwidth to do it. I have no idea this developer. We'll see. I don't know.
You at all concerned, Roots, that we haven't that this close to launch? There's no footage available whatsoever.
I don't know. Like it could be. I mean, I didn't even know that this was really even out there. So it'd be nice to see some gameplay footage. I mean, but we've seen what Warcade could do. If Ivanovich Games can do something that good, you think that these people could knock it out of the park in their own genre, right? Something that they've done for a long time, and they're just now putting it in VR.
Right. They don't have to invent the wheel, right? Or reinvent the wheel. They could They could just, I mean, they could rip off Operation Warcade. I mean, Operation Warcade kind of ripped them off, so I
Mhm.
mean, it's fair game, right?
Yeah, I hope this is good because Warcade is so good, and you want the OG to be just as good, right? So, are you gonna play this flat or VR, Wes? No, just kidding.
What do you think? I'm gonna get the I'm gonna get the flat version. I'm gonna get the flat version and reshade it.
modded, but yeah,
Oh, there-
reshade it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Just to see what the difference is.
All right, so let's see here. Where is my chat box at? There you are, chat box.
Artful wants to know about
Oh.
where's Gauntlet and Elite FPS Elite and not Dangerous Elite retro VR games. I'll tell you what, Artful, one of the best experiences I've had in VR was Gauntlet, playing with Mash and Spry and Techno Glitch and everybody. And let me turn that off. Yeah, and it was just so good in VR. So I would imagine a built from the ground up one would be phenomenal.
So we just dropped a key in the chat for Operation Warcade on Steam. So whoever's quick enough, grab that shit up real quick. It's a great game.
Heck yeah, it is. One of the best.
So Eric, where's our PSVR 2 version of Operation? I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
I don't. I can't joke with these things, man. I hear you, man. I mean, I really. Do you think that all these games are not coming to PlayStation VR 2? It's got to be that. It's got to be that they
Well,
want to hold it and announce these things, or
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. This one that we're talking about, the Operation Wolf, has been announced for PSVR 2, so we know that one's coming.
yeah.
I'm worried about Warcade, bro. Like I was once upon the time with the aim controller. I have to say this every time we talk about Warcade. It's #1 in the world on the leaderboards. Um,
I can't.
somebody actually messaged me not too long ago and told me that my I don't know if I'm still #1, but my scores are still up there at the top. So that's pretty
Really?
cool.
You need
Yeah.
to get them back up there, Wes. Because I mean, that's if I was #1 on something like that, I'd be talking about it every chance I got too. So
I put a lot of time into Operation Warcade with the aim controller. I would, but I need more than that to for me to pull that headset back out of the box. Like if D wanted to run some Farpoint co-op or something, then maybe we might find some time to do Operation Warcade on the side.
that's true. That's true. I'm sure she'd definitely be down once she gets into it. And Techno Glitch says he won the game. And then Hussein X says Tech is a lying bastard. Actually said he's messing about. He's got it. Hussein X won it.
Nice. Congratulations, Hussein X. That's a fucking badass game. It's awesome.
It's
Hope you
amazing.
enjoy it.
Very addictive. Super cool. Just watching those guys. It really does feel like you're inside the arcade game. They really captured something. Ivanovich Games is amazing.
Yeah, and it's one of these games that you have to have different strategies for as you go through the levels. So, like, uh, as when you first play through the levels, you're trying to gain as many stars as you can by completing. I don't know, like activities or what's the word I'm looking for? Like completing side missions, whatever. It'll tell you like kill 7 dudes with a rocket launcher or something like this. So the first time you're playing through, you're trying to get those stars and complete those tasks because those stars are what unlocks the other levels for you. But if you want to place on the leaderboard, you have to play a completely different style. So you end up playing every level like a bunch of times if you're trying to progress and move your way up the leaderboard. So yeah, it's a great game, very addictive.
For me, it was just trying to move on. It's like, oh shit, I can't get to the next section. I need like 8 more stars. And I'm looking at those things and I'm like, well, I don't know how I can squeeze a star out, man. Like I'm trying to do this level over and over again, and I can't seem to get that 7th rocket launcher kill or whatever it is. And it's got what a good game has. It's got that, that gameplay loop that makes you want to go back and go back. And you're sitting there like the next day thinking about it, right? And you're like, I could beat that score. Go back in there.
So Mickey Barrios comes through with a second key for Operation Warcade on Steam,
Tech got it.
and
No, just kidding.
somebody, I think Tech probably got it. Artful
Mickey has
didn't.
keys for like every game we talk about. Mickey's like, oh, there's a key. There you go.
Tatum says, I like the idea of Operation Wolf. Be curious to see how it'll feel on PSVR 2. Light games work because they're usually holding an actual gun. That's true. That is a good point. Okay, so moving along here. I think that was the only big major new game announcement that we had this week, although we did get some nice release dates on games that we already knew were coming. X8 launches in early access for Quest and PCVR on May 18th. Third Verse announced that its upcoming 5v5 multiplayer shooter X8 will launch into early access on Steam for PCVR and App Lab for Quest later this month. Early access begins on May 18th, available as a free to play title on both platforms. Third Verse says X8 features teams of 5 fighting against each other with a diverse cast of heroes to choose from. Each hero will have 3 special abilities and hero specific items to experiment with, offering unique strategical advantages. Here's more on X8 directly from Third Verse. Players can build an extensive loadout of weapons, armor, and items to equip their heroes during each round and use the funds they earn to purchase more armaments. The objective is to deploy the siphon at specific sites on the map during an attack or deactivate it within 30 seconds using the diffuser during defense. The team that eliminates all attackers or disrupts deployment progress determines the round's winners. Lasting 14 rounds, a play session draw occurs at 7-7, or the first one to win 8 are victorious. On May 17th, Third Verse will share a showcase on YouTube featuring more information about the game's inspiration and content roadmap. It will also reveal more information about an upcoming X8 esports tournament with Virtual Athletics League, which will offer a $10,000 prize. Eric, this is VR Valorant, right?
Yeah, we should start practicing now. We should get our team
Yes.
together and start practicing and dominate and win this tournament.
Yeah, I think we could probably get a review key this week. That way we have a little bit of a leg up on everyone else, right?
I'm calling Nogi. I'm calling Nogi right now. Get it set up.
But all jokes aside, Eric, you did have the chance to check this out when we were in San Francisco. Is that correct?
Yeah, GDC. So like Third Verse, their offices are right there in San Francisco. So we got a chance to go to the offices and play, and myself and Jasmine and Todd and Skiva. You missed it by one day. Like Wes flew in the next day, otherwise he would have been there.
You think you're better than me?
You missed it by one
You
day.
think you're better than me?
But it was cool, man. It was fun. I mean, Third Verse knows what they're doing. They're a good studio. But what you hit it. This is Valorant. So if you liked Valorant, that type of gameplay, or this is very much reminds me of Larcenauts. but maybe a little bit different style. But it's kind of along those lines. You have different characters that have different abilities that play differently that you can use together on a team to support one another. So this is not just everybody has the same character and you're just all going for different things. You have to choose a team that best suits the entire team to help support each player. So very much very much like a Valorant or Larcenauts.
Roots, when I see something like this, colorful hero shooter type thing, the first thing that comes to mind is Larcenauts, and automatically you start to worry about um, this game and its future prospects. But I will say this game has some stuff going for it that Larcenauts didn't have going for it. First of all, this is coming from Third Verse, and people aren't sitting here pining away for a sequel to Swords of Gargantua or Altair Breaker, right? With Larcenauts, everyone wanted Farpoint 2, and then they got Larcenauts, and people were like, boo, doesn't matter how good Larcenauts is. That's not what we wanted. Second of all, Roots, Larcenauts launched at $40. This game is free to play. That could be huge for a multiplayer game. Am I wrong?
No, that's definitely that's a very big thing, especially with shooters like this. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be some kind of different thing, some kind of a different way to make money, whether it be through a battle pass or system or something. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's something.
Yeah, so they'll. This is the thing that I just hope that they do it right. There's so much competition in shooters, right? And so, like, people are saying this looks rough. I don't know how far along this is. I don't think it's. I guess it's getting ready to launch. I was gonna say I don't think it's getting ready to launch anytime soon, but 11 days from now. So
It's launching into early access.
right.
Yeah.
That's such that's just a weird thing. We've had this conversation before, but you put those two words in front of something and then people can release it in whatever condition they want. It can be dog shit and people say, but it's early access. It still matters. And so, and hopefully it's not rough. You know what I mean? Especially the one thing they have going for it is it's free. So even if they start a little rough, they can still pull people in because it costs people nothing. But that first impression is important. So
that's the thing, especially on the MetaQuest platform. Many of the active players that are still playing exclusively on Quest are younger people who don't have a budget to go buy every game that comes out. They play Gorilla Tag, they play Rec Room, they play stuff like that that's free, and all of their friends, even if you got one or two people in a group that can afford to buy the games, typically all their friends can't. So when something like this comes along that everyone can just download and play, if the game's fun, it should do well.
but it's going against Pop One, which is another shooter, which is free.
That's
and
true.
That one
Just went free to play. That's right.
Yeah, that's a big deal, right? So
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
does help though is Pop One has been out a long time, right? And it's been played through, and things can have a tendency to get a little old. And this is new. This is different. Even though we're comparing it to Valorant, we're comparing it to Larcenauts. It's very much not those things. There are very many different things to this. The way it's made. So something new can, if it's promoted properly, and if it works out really well, and the game is really good, and they promote it right, I think this can be shown in a different way. And this whole tournament, Roots or West, that they're talking about, this $10,000 esports tournament, will bring people out, and it'll get people involved, and that will bring in streamers, that will bring in a lot of Twitch streamers, it'll bring in a lot of YouTube streamers, and then people will watch that and they'll see it and they'll want to get in there and play as well, and they'll want to build their own teams. And you'll see some competitiveness when you bring in the esports part of this. And with Echo going away, this is a good time for a game like this to fill that void.
Couple of fun facts since you brought it up. Echo Combat, free to play now until it dies in August.
Yeah, speaking of
So
that, Roots D, and Skiva and myself are gonna see the last ever Echo tournament at the VRML in Denver at the end
wow,
of June.
is that the last one?
jealous.
It's the last one ever, bro.
Alex isn't coming? I thought Alex was
And
coming.
Alex, I'm sorry, and Alex VR. Thank you.
Wes isn't coming. I thought Wes was good. No, just kidding. I was.
I would love to go.
Well, we were joking. We said maybe Spry will drive out. So
You should. You should.
Swing
But
by
yeah, I
here and
think
grab me, Spry, if you don't mind.
yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
right.
setting Echo VR. We'll be there at the last ever tournament for Echo. It'd be
That's awesome.
something. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Meow Wolf.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we'll probably be going there too. Alex is probably
Ah,
excited.
stop talking. You're tearing my chest out. Stop talking.
Maybe we can get Wes to go.
That would be cool,
Um,
dude. That would be awesome.
Fun fact, Eric. This game, this X8, built from the ashes of once promising VR shooter Frostpoint. Remember Frostpoint?
Yes.
I do very much. Yeah, I was in on the beginning as a Frostpoint. Like I helped test that. That game had a chance to be something special, and like right in the middle, they made it something completely different, and they killed that game.
It
They
was
just killed it.
unique. The fact that they wanted to add in like NPC or like PvE with PvP, you know, that just was the PvE, I think, was not intelligent enough. You know, they are the NPCs and stuff. They just the AI.
They brought I think they brought too many people in as testers. Like they
Mhm.
gave everyone a copy of this game, and by the time it launched, people were done with it, man. Not only that, but people that came in as testers were a little put off by some of the things that needed to be fixed. And that game had a lot of potential, and it's a shame that it didn't work out. But you know, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. We have this game to thank for all of
True.
the effort that went into Frostpunk.
Do you think it's going to be worth it? Do you think that they're going to learn from their mistakes? That's the question, right? Did they learn from their mistakes?
Yeah, I think it's I don't think Third Verse was the one that originally developed
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Frostpoint.
somebody else. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was though.
So they're just kind of picking up the pieces, well, I guess, which were given to them. I don't know how the business end of it went, but I do remember reading that when X8 was first announced. I remember reading that in an article.
When
I mean, the assets in the game engine were very good for Frostpoint. To me,
Yeah.
it was the gameplay that killed Frostpoint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. When is that tournament, Mash? When is it? It's the beginning of June, right?
The Echo tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that weekend of June 3rd and 4th, I think. Saturday.
Jenna Sequoia says
Artful
she's going to be in Denver the last week of June, so you got to come back
Well,
out.
you should come now then, Jenna, and then go back later.
That's true.
There you go. Artful wonders if Five Nights at Freddy's will be ported to PSVR too. That would be good with the extra head haptics. I agree, and I think it will.
Yeah.
I think Sister Location is going to be brought into VR. Is what I think.
Sister location.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
The latest Five Nights at Freddy's flat game that came out last year or something like that. We
I don't know
we
anything
heard
about
some
Five Nights at
rumors.
Freddy's except for whatever my daughter says.
We heard some rumors that they're working on that for VR, and I think they're pretty credible. Anyway, Derail gave us a $10 super chat. Ruuts says this is for your mom.
Well, you know what? $10 gets you a lot, Derail, dude. I think that's everything. You get everything probably twice.
Everything.
Yeah. It's a good deal.
He knows. You don't
Yeah,
tell
that's
him
right.
anything, bro.
Yeah,
he
he's
knows.
like, dude, that's what the money's for. I knew that.
Thanks, Derail. Appreciate it as always, brother. Super cool. All right, let's see. Do we have any headlines left? Oh yeah, one more, and this is another one of those routes where I just kind of made the headline because I wanted to show the trailer. So let's just watch the trailer.
Ooh.
In another place, another sense of time, creation in my eyes. Slippers, tethers fade, tune of frequency and glide beyond this mortal fire. Other single states left drifting in the wake, still a unity of one, and Stepping back to view a frame extending on all sides, creation in my eyes. We are too young, too innocent to see what is right before our eyes. Nothing before, nothing will end. We never truly die. Like a spark of energy cries for life and ignites. One day we'll realize that all worlds must collide.
Firmament releasing May 18th, 2023. This from newgamenetwork.com. Cyan Worlds have announced that their new game, Firmament, is coming out on May 18th, 2023 for PC. The puzzle adventure game lets players explore 3 worlds, not unlike their previous games, Abduction and Mist. Cyan Worlds crowdfunded almost $1.5 million on Kickstarter back in April of 2019 for Firmament. Ruuts, we started this channel in March of 2019. That's how long this game's been in development.
That's
Damn.
crazy. It seems like we've been doing this longer, actually. I was thinking we started in 2016. No, just kidding.
God, it feels like decades, don't it? No, I'm just
Yeah.
joking.
Dude, 186 episodes. That's insane anyway, though.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's true. That's true.
Coming up on that big 200, man. We're gonna do some cool stuff. Hopefully, I got to get some people to agree some things, but I have some good plans for episode 200.
Dude,
Oh, yeah,
Zuckerberg. We're gonna get we're gonna
Carmack.
get Carmack, Zuck. Who else? Well, this one would actually be potentially possible since Mash actually talked to him, but Palmer Lucky, they're like this now.
Oh, what we'll do is we'll have a debate between Bosworth and Blair Renault.
Oh my god.
That would be
Two-
cool. And we
two,
could
two bald guys going at it.
we could have we could have Carmack do the he could be like the mitigator in between, the final decider.
Can you imagine if you could ever get like Palmer Lucky, Carmack, and Zuckerberg on a show?
We wouldn't be talking about 3,000 subs anymore. You know what I mean? Like that's a big fucking lineup, bro. That'd be cool.
Some of these guys might be crazy enough to do it. Maybe not Zuck, but
Carmack would. I bet you Carmack would.
I would
some
love,
of these old school VR guys, they might appreciate that we only have 3K.
I would love to be there to have Palmer Lucky do it live. He's putting on his kill helmet right now. I'm going live, and I don't know which game he would want to go into, but it'd have to be one that he knows has no bugs. So,
Crashland.
yes, Crashland. Oh God, no, you're dead.
Imagine you'd be dead.
You'd be dead pretty quick, dude. You better be like Crackshot West or something, dude. You better be on your toes, dude. This is hardcore. So.
In Firmament, players carry a device with them called an adjunct, which acts as an interface as you interact with various devices across all 3 worlds. The players will also be joined by a mysterious apparition who has a story of her own. The game will also be playable in VR and supports Valve Index, HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, Rift S, Quest 2 via Oculus Link. Cyan Worlds remade their I'm sorry, go ahead.
No PSVR 2. Where's the?
Oh, it's announced. It's announced for PSVR 2. It's just not launching
I
concurrently
gotcha.
with the other version. Yeah. Cyan Worlds remade their popular adventure game Myst with the Unreal Engine in 2020 for VR devices, and before they released Abduction in 2016. All right, so yeah, long time coming. This, when they announced this, I think they just announced it as I could be wrong, as a VR game, or maybe they just kind of sold it as their first built from the ground up VR game. Like Abduction, they made VR. Myst, they made VR. This game was designed with VR in mind, and I think we can see that here with this description of this adjunct thing that we saw them using in the trailer just a moment ago. That looks like a VR mechanic, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. This is smart. This is what games developers need to do. Like, you're not abandoning your current, audience. The flat gamers that love Myst and they love Abduction, they're going to get to play this too, right? But if you want to play it in VR, you're going to get to play it in VR as well. So there's no real risk. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing, is like the risk. Well, if you're doing it for both, where's the risk? I don't know. It's very cool.
Artful says Firmament could outsell Vertigo too. 1.5 million in Kickstarter funds. They might have already outsold Vertigo too. It's very possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Am I the only one who's not like blown away and like ready to like? I am just not looking forward to another snooze fest from Cyan Games, guys. I just don't have any faith in them right now. I don't want another Myst where Myst is a bore fest for me. And Myst didn't do great, by the way.
Yeah, but
know what I mean?
Myst was also a retro game brought into VR. It wasn't in mind trying to captivate or capture a new audience. It was bringing an existing game out into VR, right? Or it was a remake. And so this is completely an old remake. So this is going to be completely different. And they've been working on this a long time. So I think it's going to be really good. But I mean, you're going to have to like puzzle games. If you're not a puzzle game person.
But this is a different type of puzzle game. I'm still questioning whether these types of puzzle games work in virtual reality. Like, I don't know. Like, again, it's easy to sit in front of your computer and point and click, or use your keyboard and mouse or whatever, use a controller, and you can eat popcorn, you can drink your soda, you can do whatever, and be frustrated by a puzzle and take notes and write things down. When you're doing it in a VR headset, it's much different. One of the best conversations I ever had was with Andrew Ike from Alchemy Labs about why some puzzle games don't do well in virtual reality. And it just happened to be on the golf course, the mini golf course. But we had, for like 10 holes, we had a conversation where he kept coming back to me with points of why he didn't think that, or why he thought that you had to do things different in VR for certain types of puzzle games to have them work or make sense. And I'm not saying it isn't. I'm not saying it won't do well. I just question whether, this game sounds great. I just don't know if it's going to hit enough people to where it makes sense.
Well, again, first of all, how dare you?
I know. Everybody
How
loves it. I
dare
know. I'm
you?
not in the minority. I got it.
Second of all, valid points, certainly valid points. But again, I'd point out that Myst was a flat game brought into VR. Abduction was a flat game brought into VR. This is the first time, their first crack at making this type of a game for VR. So hopefully that makes a difference with how the game plays and how palatable it is for traditional VR gamers.
This is where I agree with Mash in this respect. And I don't have as much worry about this game as you do, but I do think that even myself, and I've experienced it, like that frustration feeling of when you get stuck in a puzzle or certain things in VR are amplified. That feeling gets amplified. Everything gets amplified in VR, and frustration is one of those things. And if you don't balance it correctly, it can really put people off, especially if they're already predisposed to not like puzzle games to begin with. It's one of the reasons why D's not doing Resident Evil Village streaming, is because there's so much time where you're like trying to figure stuff out, dead time, that type of stuff.
I want to
right?
apologize. I want to apologize because I'm one of the people who convinced Dee to go live from Resident Evil last week, and I passed out before she went live, so I wasn't there to help, and I felt bad about it. I noticed that she quit in like an hour, and I was
No,
like,
it's all right. So both times I sat there in the room and I helped with the chat and stuff. But it's more like, because they're in the headset, there's no chat, so you're already at a disadvantage. She's all, it's a scary game, which is already intimidating. And then it's also one of those games where you're constantly roaming around trying to figure out what you missed, and all of those things don't translate very well. But not in a trying to learn to stream and you can't see what the chat's saying, and there's a lot of that type of stuff. So
Artful Sin in chat, without Myst, we probably wouldn't have Red Matter or Red Matter 2. And I don't disagree, but to me, those are different games. So, like to me, Myst is a hardcore puzzler, just like Michelle B says. I agree to disagree with Mash. I love puzzle games in VR. Again, these are not your normal puzzle games. If you have never gone and played Abduction or Firmament or
Mist.
Myst, these are different. These are different puzzle games. What's the other ones that
The
Scion did?
Room, the
You
Room
know,
VR is a good example from Bluebell. That's more of a hardcore puzzler.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mash missed because the story was, I don't even know what the story. I guess it's more reading it or whatever. But I thought Abduction had a really good hook story wise. It really made me want to figure out. It was tough. There's a lot of figuring stuff out on a different level, a lot of reading, a lot of it's a hardcore puzzler. It's not going to be for everybody, but
right.
I think it'll do well, but I mean, I guess only time will
There's
tell.
reasons why games like Red Matter and like Fisherman's Tale and like even The Room to a certain extent do well is because they're not super hardcore. Don't make you read novels to to figure things out. And again, I just think you have to have a good mix. You have to take these things into account and with VR, and I just don't know if they do. Like, I don't know if they care. Like, if they're, I just think some of these companies, like, we're going to make our game no matter what, and they don't think about how the platform that they're putting it on. And if you're gonna make a game, the same way that you would make the flat game, you have to make sure that it makes sense in virtual reality headset. And I just don't know if they think about that all the time.
Well, they specifically did a Kickstarter for the game to bring it built from the ground up in VR. They probably thought more about it than a lot of developers because they went all that way around. It's not like they even need the money. They just wanted to make sure they had the justification to do it, right? And take all the worry about it. Okay, my funding's there now. Make the game that you want to make and make it amazing. So I have more optimism, but there is that potential that it's I think it's going to do well either way. But how many copies will it sell? That's the question.
If it's more Wanderer than Myst, I'm all on board. I'll say that.
Hussein X says Zing, another one. I never played Zing. Never played the Talos Principle either. Never played either one of those
That's the
games.
one I was thinking about that Scion played, the Talos Principle. There's another one. Hard game, dude. They're like when a Scion messages me and goes, "Holy crap, I just had to get through this puzzle game. It took me like 4 days to figure out one puzzle." I am out, bro. I'm out.
Yeah, he
Literally,
said the Room VR was too easy.
Scion, tell everybody in chat how hard the puzzles are in Talos Principle and how they drove you nuts, dude. If they're noping you out almost, I'm not playing that. I'm not doing that.
True. Yeah. Sprite Guy says Wanderer is more than a puzzle game. Wanderer is really good. Yeah, that's true. That's why I won all the game of the year, right?
Yep, that's right. Game of the year last year overall. Let's see here. I lost it. Oh, Rick's BK09 just played a little bit of Propagation Paradise Hotel. So, Mash, you streamed this game, I assume, in its entirety last night. I didn't want to watch it because I did not want any spoilers. So, without spoiling it, how did you like it by the time you got through it all?
So I didn't finish the game last night.
Oh, you didn't?
No, and I streamed this game. I think it was almost 3 hours last night. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes or something like that. And I was already 30 minutes in. So I am only probably three and a half, a little over 3 hours in. And I don't think, like, it shows you different floors of this hotel. And like, unless things like snatch up and finish real quick here, I think I got another 2 hours left.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I think this game is closer to the 4 to 5 hour mark. Like, I've heard people say my second playthrough, I could get through it in 2.5. Well, you can't say that because after your second gameplay, you know where all the shit is. It's unfair. This is not a thing where it's like, procedurally generated and it changes every time. So I heard people are like, well, I finished it in 2 hours in my second playthrough. That's different. Like, I've already died several times. I mean, I think it's way longer. The original playthrough, I think, is going to be way longer, especially for somebody like you who looks for everything than most people think. My problem with this game is more in the game itself, in that it does nothing new, guys. This is a cookie cutter. This is Resident Evil mixed with The Walking Dead. Several cliches. this is, when you walk into a save room, you hear that little music of Resident Evil when you walk into a save room. Same thing. You know what I mean? You have a flashlight on your chest that goes out that you can have on or you can hold like Resident Evil. The movement, it's very much like Resident Evil.
Is it fun though? I mean, you're sitting here telling me that it's like it's too much like my two favorite games.
It's fun. It's fun. It's like those games but light. It's like those games but not as good.
Okay.
So
Well,
if you had a choice to go into RE8 or this propagation, you'd say you go into RE8.
Oh my God. No, freaking close. Not even close, man. Not even close.
That's not
Now,
fair.
that being said, I played it for like 2.5 hours last night. Had a ton of jump scares. It was very cool. Just
Scary?
the little, yeah. I mean, it's not like horror scary, so it's all relies on jump scares to scare you, which is fine. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be like a, it's a zombie horror game, so it's not meant to be like, really like off the wall weird and crazy. It's just supposed to be a scary, you're in the dark and you have to use a flashlight to do things. They do have some bigger bosses, so it's not like it's all just one shambling zombie. Here's the thing, you can't kill the zombies. They don't die ever. So
Oh, really?
they
Wow.
regenerate. So once you put them down, if you're in a room long enough, they will regenerate and come back at you again, including the bigger ones that take more to kill than the normal ones. So you gotta
Well,
think about that and get out of spots before you go.
that's gonna be a trouble for me because I'm gonna want to explore and look around and search shit, and the whole time I'm trying to rush because the zombie's gonna get back up. That could fuck with me a little bit.
Are you gonna try, or did you try it with the B-haptics vest? Brandon wants to know.
I don't think it hooks up. It did the B haptics does not pop up. I played it on Steam. The B haptics normally, if it's an integrated B haptics like the original propagation was, it should automatically pop up on my desktop if it's included. And I see nowhere in the menu to activate it or do anything. So I don't think it supports B haptics.
I think you need to speak with Alex and get the special version. He's got the special version for propagation.
I think if Alex was probably still with B haptics.
Oh, he's not with them anymore? What the hell?
No.
I'm out of the loop here.
Really? You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. No. Nobody told me, dude. Nobody tells Ruuts.
He's with a haptics glove company now called Contact CI that does for the military and for commercial use.
Wow. B haptics loss and that company's gain because Alex is amazing.
Agree. Anyway, thank you for giving us your impressions on that, Eric. Now,
definitely a play. Though. This is something you definitely have to play. You'll like it, Wes. So I don't want to come off too harsh. I just want to come off. It's not going to be the revolutionary game. Like people are saying, this is the scariest zombie game ever.
Yeah, people. You know how people are though. They're full of shit.
Well, people say that, and this is the thing, and that's what Gary Immerse Robot was saying earlier. He's kind of saying the same thing that I've been saying for a year and a half to 2 years. About he's disillusioned with a lot of these games, and it's why I've been looking to AAA gaming for so long. And so you go into what Eric's describing is that this game is good, on its own level. It's just not what you would like. You're wanting the Resident Evil games, right? So I don't know. This is an in between. So
if this exact game came out 3 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, it's a good game. Like this isn't. For today's standard, this looks like a game that could have came out 3 years ago or 2 years ago.
Okay, so in that with that in mind, you're going tomorrow to pick up your headset and put on something fun to play. Your choices are Paradise Hotel, Propagation Paradise Hotel,
Onslaught,
or Arizona Sunshine Dead Man DLC. Which one do you go for?
No, yeah, I'm playing this. I'd rather play this. Arizona Sunshine for me is it's too out of date now. That was a fun game when it came out, but I mean, I can't go back to that.
You know why I like it? You know why I still like it? Co-op.
Co-op.
Long co-op zombie campaign.
Yeah,
still waiting on a new one of these.
Yeah. I don't know. This game is definitely, and I think this game is $20, right?
Yep, $20. That's right.
This game is if it's like 4.5, 5 hours long at $20. Good game. I haven't seen the Quest version yet, so I think the two versions might look very similar.
I thought somebody said
doesn't wow me on PC. By the way, it doesn't like it's not. I'm not looking at it and going, "Wow, this is an amazing looking game." I'm looking at it going, "It looks okay." And you can't interact with anything, guys, and that just bothers me a little bit. Like nothing. Only the things that you're exactly meant to interact with, like everything your hand passes through. There's no collision detection at
But
all.
that's Resident Evil too, man. Like you go into a room and you've got one drawer you can open, and you've got, you know what I mean, one vase. There's shit everywhere, and you can't touch any of it.
Yeah, it's
So
just the rest of the quality of Resident Evil makes it so I don't care, I guess.
you're already
Here,
thinking about something else.
this is a built from ground up VR game, and I mean, at this point, I'm not saying that everything has to be, that. I mean, it's tough to make it so you can pick and touch everything, but man, just give me a few things. I
Would
mean,
you
literally,
Would you feel better if it was co-op? Decepticon says proposition should have been co-op.
it would be super cool if it was co-op. But these games are tough to do. I mean, how do you do Resident Evil in co-op? Because this is what this is. This is Resident Evil. Could you
Yeah.
do Resident Evil in co-op? It wouldn't make sense, I don't think.
It depends on. I mean, if they built for it, sure. Adding co-op in it could be a problem, but I mean, I'm sure they could build a fun co-op game.
Yeah, you'd have to make a mode for it. Like you could this story that you're in right now. I mean, I guess you could. It would just you'd have to increase the difficulty, increase the enemies. I mean, again, a lot of this thing is because you're in the dark. You have a single flashlight that is battery powered that continuously goes out like every 10 seconds. You got to find batteries everywhere. To be honest, guys, I'm 3 hours in. I'm still on the pistol. I haven't even found a different weapon yet. Like,
So here's the
more than one
thing.
weapon? I don't even know.
I'm not sure because I haven't played yet. But here's the thing. I'm going to play it, and we're going to pick this very same conversation up on Wednesday's episode.
Nice.
And I'll tell you exactly what I think about it, and we can have a discussion. Roots, Eric, we can talk about this and see where I'm at. So I'm someone who this game is targeted to. I
Yeah.
like horror games. I like zombie shooters. It's my favorite shit. And Roots is kind of in between. Roots will play anything, but it has to be of a certain quality level. So it's going to be an interesting conversation. See what I think about it compared to what Eric thinks about it compared to what Roots thinks about it. That's why Roots. They should have subscribed already, right?
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I question your soul.
Yeah, how many places can give you 3 different opinions on a game?
That's
Really?
true.
I mean, usually it's one reviewer giving you their opinion going, ah.
Oh, with this game, there's only one opinion. If you look outside and what everybody else said is only one opinion about this game. Everybody says it's great.
Literally, I'm gonna probably throw like a 7 out of 10 on it.
That's good.
Yeah, it's
I'll
good.
take a 7 out. I'll
Yeah.
take a 7 out of 10 horror game every day.
It was a good. Last night on the stream, I said this is a good game. It's good. Okay.
Roots,
Good.
Roots. How do you feel about going and playing a 7 after the show tonight?
Well, it's a lot better than playing a 3. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I guess it is better than a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
not
guess-
every game's going to be a banger 10, but the main thing is like if Eric can walk away and said I had a fun time, it was a good time. That's all that matters. But it's just what we've all been saying for a while, that the bar is raising. It's like rising very fast. And
You know who loves it when the bar? You know who loves it when the bar is raising very fast?
Yeah, she does.
But you know what we said before this game, though? We said 3 hours long. It better be really, really good.
But you just said it's 3 hours long, and you're only halfway, probably.
I know. I don't know unless how they're playing it through it quicker, but everybody else is saying it's short, so I don't know.
I do remember GT saying that it just kind of stops, right?
Maybe it does.
Like
'cause
it just.
I'm looking at the map and it shows me like with multiple floors. You know what I mean? It shows
Mm.
me like I'm on the 3rd floor, and I still have stuff to open still on the 1st floor that I haven't key to yet. And it shows me like 2 more floors above me, and then the roof. So I mean,
Wow.
unless I can't go to those other floors, I mean, I'm the floor I'm on now, and then that's that floor, and then the roof, and it's done. Which I guess it could be. I don't know. But again, if it is that, I already said if it's 3 hours, it better be really, really good, and it's not really, really good. It's good.
Home Sweet Home Roots. That's another one that needs to come to PSVR too.
Yeah, for real.
Get that PSVR 2 update.
I'd love
Bluebell,
to.
you finished it. How many hours do I have left? Bluebell finished this game, and she saw me streaming the other night. So Bluebell, how many hours do you think I have left in this game?
Probably you 17. Have you seen you in a puzzle game? Oh, this is not a puzzle game. Never mind. It's a horror game.
There's some puzzles here, though. There's a little bit.
Is there?
Bluebell says the ending is crazy. No spoilers.
Yeah, it depends on what people are looking for.
Yep.
Everybody's subjective. What's worth $20? So I think the 4 or 5 hours absolutely is worth $20 to me. But
I mean, I had a lot of people come to my stream last night saying how great this game was. Mateo came in. He said it was like awesome game. He's gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be amazing. That VR girl came in, amazing game, loved it. Bluebell was saying how much she loved it. I never played it, just watched. Oh, okay. I thought she played it. She's talking about the ending. I thought she played it.
Brandon VR says Afterlife VR game of the month. Why don't we talk about game of the month? Because it's about that time. Ruuts, it's time for reminders. Here's a reminder for you. We're a week into May and we haven't done game of the month yet.
yeah, that's definitely a crazy amount of time, right?
How
Yeah,
dare you?
I know, right? Eric, March was so full of game releases that we didn't even do game of the month. We were just like, it would be impossible to do. Everything dropped in the last week, or I'm sorry, not March, but February. February was just so many that we couldn't do game of the month. March we did, and it was a banner month. I mean, we had um, a tie for PCVR game of the month between the Walking Dead Retribution and Vertigo 2. And then we also had Walking Dead Retribution win on PlayStation VR 2. But we also talked about games like Switchback that came out in March as well. So, I mean, April compared to what we have been seeing, a lot. The great releases are a lot fewer and far between this month. We'll say that.
It's more like old school, right? Where, usually the beginning of the month or the beginning of the year, it's slow, right? And so it didn't start picking up until, now it's starting to pick up normally. But
we had a few things come out this month, and typically our kind of process with this, we don't play every game, but the ones that we think might be serious contenders, we play. And if we're coming into a game of the month episode where there are things we think are really great, uh, we just buy them and play them in the last week. But we didn't do that this week. This is going to be a bit of a brief in comparison game of the month because we came into this week knowing what the winners were without even having played most of the games. Right? That's a fair statement, isn't it, Eric? Even though we haven't played like probably half of these games, I think everyone is going to know what the winners are. They probably already do, right?
Yeah, and I would say the ones that we do that are up for it, we have a lot of time in.
That's right.
Which is the main thing. That's what you need, right? Like the games that that we all know are have no shot. I mean, unless you guys want us to see us play every game, and we're not going to do that because we don't want to do that. There's no reason to even talk about them. But I think it's important that we do put time into the games that do have a chance to win, and we do.
Yeah.
A lot of time in.
I would quit. I would quit doing VR if I had to play every single game.
I would too. I mean that one game that Betty streamed. What the hell was it? That PlayStation game, Across the Valley.
Oh yeah, I think that's on the list here, Mash.
That is. That is.
Oh man,
It's on the. Well, so we're going to start on PSVR 2. And by the way, we don't do regular PSVR anymore because it's in the box over there. But PSVR 2 got Afterlife VR this month, which is a Steam VR port that we've known is coming for quite some time. Obviously, who was it? Brandon. Brandon is a big fan of this game, and Roots. I mean, it's not bad. It's decent. This is another 7, right?
Yeah, we played through it. I mean, you played all the way through it, right? We played on the other platforms. I think this is Brian Paul's favorite game of all time. I'm just kidding. No, it's definitely. I mean, for $15, it's definitely worth the cost of admission for sure.
It's good. It's good, Eric. And here's the thing: when Brian says Afterlife VR is the game of the month, then obviously he must be playing it on PSVR 2 because it only came out on PSVR 2 this month. It's been on Steam for 6 months to a year. In terms of gameplay, story, all of that stuff, this is exactly the same game. as the Steam version, but it's not exactly the same version. I mean, you get some advanced haptics and triggers with this, but it comes at a cost because this game does not look as good visually on PSVR 2 as it does on Steam VR.
Yeah. I mean, this game was okay. It was, I don't know. Yeah.
It's
It was
fine,
okay.
right? It's fine.
Yeah. I don't even, can you say it's good? I guess it's good. Yeah, it's good.
It's good. It's a good game.
It's good. This, you know what? This reminds me of the propagation game a lot, man. They're around the same type of game. I mean, they're really the same type of game. I
We
mean,
said
maybe propagation looks a little bit better. Maybe.
we said the same things, right? When we played Afterlife, like this, it doesn't do anything new. It
Yep.
does shit that we've seen 100 times before, and
Yep.
it does it all right. It don't do it great. It does it all right. There's more variety in the gameplay than you expect when you see at the beginning what kind of game it's going to be. So you're kind of surprised by the end that you're shooting stuff and have telekinetic powers. You're throwing shit around. I mean, that's a little bit of a change from the
You're
early part
right.
of the
I
game.
forgot about that part. That actually does separate it a little bit from some of the other games.
Mm.
That's kind of cool.
It's only $15, dude. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah. You collect
Yeah.
batteries in this game like propagation too.
That's the
Was this
best thing in any game is collecting batteries.
Was this my favorite PSVR 2 game that came out this month? Yeah, probably was. But we take other things into consideration than just what our favorite games are when we vote on this stuff. We vote on, how palatable it would be to a wide
Mm.
audience, how most people might enjoy a game, and not someone like me who really enjoys horror games. I mean, Roots. I mean, we have some of the best games that we've ever played on PSVR 2, but a lot of people won't play them because they're horror games.
True, true. I think the next game we're talking about is the best of the best. This is probably the one that Mash needs to stream and check it out, which is Across the Valley. You said
I'm down.
Creeper Betty played this one? Mash?
Yeah, streamed it, dude. It was, oh my god. Creeper Betty was like, "This is the biggest piece of shit I've ever played," and for her to say that, I was like, "Wow, this has got to be utter dog shit."
She
What's
likes Garbage at the Sea too,
She
doesn't she?
loves Garbage of the Sea. She's like a huge Garbage of the Sea fan, and she shit all
Is it
over
like
this
that?
game.
Is it kind of like Garden of the Sea?
I don't know if Garbage of the Sea was this is the shittier, uglier sister of Garbage of the Sea. I don't know. It's not
Roots, what about you? Have you been doing any VR farming lately?
I have not done any VR farming. I don't even want to do any VR farming or flat farming. I don't want to do any real life farming. Actually, I guess real
Crypto
life
farming?
farming would be kind of nice, right? Just because, you
No,
actually get something
it's
out
not. It's not. Like
of it. Wes is
that's
like,
what
no.
real life farming is the reason why I don't want to VR farm because it's not fun in real life. There's no way it could be more fun in VR. You're right, Rich. At least you get stuff for doing it in real life.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this stuff. I think personally, I think that's what killed not Wrath of the Lich King, the World of Warcraft, Pandaria. They had like farming, you had to grow shit and stuff, and I was like, that was about the time I checked out of that game. I just I don't enjoy doing that. I guess if people are like those type of games, then they're gonna enjoy that. But it sounds like Creeper Betty didn't like it, and she really loves these type of games. So
Mhm.
Eric, when Ghost of Tabor adds in their gardening section, are you going to shit all over it?
No, I might enjoy it at that point. I'd be all over it, man. They do have a gardening section in there.
I know it. I know it. They're supposed to make that like actually usable by the end of development, right?
Yeah, I can you just think about Ghost of Tabor and how good it is already now. And they don't have half the stuff in there that they're gonna have eventually, man. Wait till you can you can start Bitcoin farming for money, and you can do all these things. The things that like Jim Hall got into with Tarkov. Wait till he can do those, and wait till you can do the flea market, and you can trade, and you can actually like barter and chain and do those types of things. It's gonna be insane,
Yeah.
man. And I just love that game. Wes had some time
Yeah.
in Ghost of Tabor
Put
this
some
week.
real time in this week, actually. That last one, man, I didn't know how it was I was going to go for. So it was a bit of a rough start. But by the end of the night, my gun room was probably 3 times better than it was when I started the night. So like I was good. That last run went so well, like it kind of made all the time worth it.
So let
That's
me.
what happens in that. Roots can attest to it. Like Tarkov, you have games in Tarkov where you come out of the raid and you're so frustrated, and then all of a sudden you have one great raid and it changes your attitude, right?
Yeah, man. Especially if you get some good items. But let me ask you this. Ryan Brandon's got a good point. For some people, do you think there's a point? Well, I guess maybe it's just not his type of game, but he says it already has too much, in my opinion. I disagree, just because I want what Tarkov is in VR, and it's like, just starting to get to, you know what I mean? Like there's so much. But there's a lot of people that would never want to play Escape from Tarkov flat because of the same reason. There's so much to micromanage, and it is overwhelming at first, but once you get past it, it's the most realistic shooter that is out there.
I like most of it. I could do without like ammo crafting, but I haven't had to craft any ammo either.
Mm.
Like the idea of it doesn't sound like something that I would want to do for fun. But I understand why it's in there. They're trying to go further than a game like Into the Radius, where everybody was blown away because you had to clean your gun, right? How do you go further than that? Well, you make people craft ammo out of gunpowder and brass, you know?
I almost
And
wish
you
their
can play it
backpacks
different.
was different. Like I don't like the fact that it's an open space that I have to like try to maneuver and shift shit in there. Like I
Right.
like the fact that,
Right.
with Tarkov, you've got spaces and you just put it in, and this takes up 3 spaces, and you just kind of like Tetris grid it. And I get why they want to make it more realistic in a sense, but in a game like that, it might be better to have like 20 slots, and this one takes up 3 slots, and you're adjusting it that way rather than trying to fit it into the radius style where you're spending so much time trying to fit this shit in your backpack. It's just too much. It's just too much in a situation where I need to know what's going on around me. It's just weird. So I don't know.
It's and it Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I love the way Tarkov does it too. It would never work. You could never. I don't know. Well, it could work, but then you'd have to be in a menu. You know what I mean? And you can't be in a menu in that game. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess you are in Tarkov too, but
You
um,
could be in a menu inside your bag. All it would take is just to have a grid over your inside the bag. I don't know. It
but
just to me.
the backpack management definitely is a thing you can learn and get better at and get faster at. So like placement in the backpack it's not just a random thing, especially as they've gotten better with like the physics of it and how it works and what doesn't work and fixing bugs and with the backpack. It's getting better and better and better. And people that get good at putting stuff in the backpack and how to manage it get really good and fast at it. I'm way faster at it now than I was in the beginning, as long as I can get through some of the bugs that are still there with the backpack. Because again, this game is early access; it's still not perfect. I think when it gets perfect, it'll be a better experience. But I don't know. A lot of people like Wolf Rouse is saying, I'm just a shooter. I just want to shoot. But you guys, you ever remember this game will allow you to do whatever you want. Like if you want to just go in and be a Chad and just go and shoot people, you can do that. You don't have to craft bullets. You don't have to make guns. You can go in there, shoot people, kill them, take their guns and take it out and put it on your wall and then just keep doing it. Like you don't have to do all those things. Like those things are there for people that want to do the looter shooter type thing. But if you just want to go in and bring your shit in as the best stuff you have in and just go in and try and kill people and then take their stuff and take their hard work, and so you don't have to. That's how people play. People play that way all the time. There's certain names in the game. There's Chads and there's Rats. A rat is somebody that goes in, goes slow, wants to loot, wants to like pick up stuff off of people that are already dead, that people have already killed. They don't look for a lot of battles and look for a lot of gunfights. And then there's Chads, and they go in fully kitted with the best armor and the best guns, and they want to kill everybody on the map and just take their shit. You can play that way if you want.
How rude.
Yeah.
How dare
It's
you?
fun.
How
But it's
dare
fun. Me
you?
and Betty chatted it up last night, man. We went in and killed a whole bunch of sweaties. It was great. I love it. I like to play both ways.
Ah,
You
you know
know
who
who else?
else loves to go both ways?
My,
Ah, yeah, she does, man. Actually, there's not just two, like 3, 4, 5, probably.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tabor, not out on PlayStation VR 2 this month, but you know what was? Creed Championship Edition. And I think Roots, in terms of overall quality, fun factor, all things considered, I think this is a pretty easy W for game of the month. Do you agree?
Yeah, this is definitely the most polished, hands down, better game. I mean, it was really close against Across the Valley, but at the end of the day, we had to lean into the AAA title, Creed. Shout out to MameFin and his YouTube video that Creed created that went viral. And yeah, good game, right?
Yeah, Championship Edition for PSVR 2. Eric, pretty similar to the original version of Creed, although they have opened up the rules a little bit and have implemented a few new features. Not just the PSVR 2 specific features, but like there's a calorie counter now if you want to use it as a fitness app, stuff like that. Pretty fun multiplayer boxing game that you can go one on one with your friends in, or go through a story mode. I mean, it's a pretty complete game, especially coming from Servios.
Yeah, I mean, Servios has done a good job with this game over the years, and this is a good next, continuation. I mean, it's a good game, and it works really well on the PlayStation VR too. So I'm happy it's there, and I think it's really good, and it's a good boxing game. I just want more. I want Punch Out. Like I want.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is just like an utilized. Like Creed's great, Thriller Fight's great, but I want Knockout Kings. You guys remember the game Knockout Kings?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
the same way. I said the exact same thing. I loved Mike Tyson's Punch Out. I thought that Knockout Kings was so cool. And Wolvie says that unless they killed the damn stamina thing, it's still stupid. I couldn't stand the training and the when you went into like, the gym, and it was just like very weird. I was like, I just give me some boxing. I don't know what you're trying to make me do here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here to box, not come
I,
in
li-
here.
I like the I like the idea of the training. I think they could have done it way
It's
better.
not implemented very well. It's like a half
Right.
thought, right? Like literally half thought. Like you're halfway training. You start to do something
Well,
and then it's over. And you're like, oh shit, dude, what?
well,
So
the training sessions are all dynamic, right? So they're slightly different. Even though you're doing the same things, they give you different patterns and stuff. So it's slightly different every time you go through it. And how you do in the training mini game, if you want to call it that, determines how much stamina you have when you go into your actual match. The thing I don't like about it, Eric, is you go through your training mode. Sometimes you do good, sometimes you don't do good, but you can't redo it. So, like, if you fucking blow it and miss like on one or two of the little events they have you going through, now you have less stamina than you had in the last match, and I don't particularly care for
how
that
stupid.
aspect of it.
Yeah. It's just I just want the complete game, man. They got to be coming, man. I got to assume somebody is like, you know, where's Thrill of the Fight 2, man? That game should have been out by now too, shouldn't it?
What
They announced
about what
Thrill of the Fight
about
2 a long time ago.
what about Manny Boxing VR? You don't think that one's good?
Ooh, Manny Pacquiao.
Yep, that's right.
Like where
Anyway,
is
that
it? Like we could have had a Punch Out by now. Like
Yeah,
just
we forget the Nintendo NES and like there was a lot of shitty ETs and just shit games out there, and then the good ones came. So we're like right on the edge, and I really believe we are right on the edge. As a matter of fact, we've already gotten a few this year with RE8 and GTA 7 and some of the things we're getting from PlayStation VR 2. It's just not enough yet. Like I want to get to the point where all these games that are AAA are coming out in VR as well, and you have an option to play it flat or not. It's where the disillusionment that Gary was talking about, where he's feeling, that I've been feeling for a while, because starts to set in, and you start to realize we're a bit further off than we thought we were. Not much, but just enough to where it's like, fuck, man, I got another year and a half of this. Like I don't want another year and a half or whatever it takes. I want to be there now. So
we'll get there, man. We'll get there. We're getting there.
yeah.
Anyway, that's all that came out on PSVR 2. To Roots' point, that those were the 3 titles that came out this month. So, Eric, any disagreement that Creed is the best on this very limited list?
not from me, not at all.
Cross the
Yeah,
valley.
well, let's move on to Quest 2, which actually had a pretty decent month, all things considered, especially when you look at some of the months Quest 2 had last year. April don't look bad. Call of the Sea VR came out. for Quest 2. This I think one of my only real regrets that I didn't play this month. Like I think I might enjoy this game, but I don't think it would have even come close to winning game of the month. Eric, you said you've heard a couple of people say it's not very good.
N- Not that it wasn't very good. It was like okay, but nobody's talking about it. Like nobody. Like when this game was announced, people were like, "Holy crap!" Like, have you seen? I haven't seen anybody cover this game. I haven't seen like much buzz about it at all. Like it's
Mm.
just not out there. Like, so it's not that I've heard like a ton of negative things. I've just heard that it's okay, and then with no coverage on it, I'm like, I don't know what this game's all. What's going on with this game?
It's a little weird, Roots. This game, it actually had a pretty good bit of buzz on it when they announced it. But Eric's right. Like when it launched, it just kind of went under the radar. Like I didn't even like know it was coming till a couple of days before it came out. Like that never happens.
What else was coming out at the same time? Did it get overshadowed by anything?
I mean, we'll talk about the other things that came out this month, but no,
No,
not
okay.
really.
Well, Miriam says this is a very special game.
Uh-huh.
So according to in this
Yeah, I mean-
review, it's got good reviews on at least on this particular page. A lot of 4 and 5 stars. Paradise Decay, decent port, VR puzzle adventure. So
Decent port is that?
well, okay, this is the thing. Somebody was saying this the other day, like, dude, you got to check out this restaurant. I'm like, is it good food? Good? I'm like, that's all right. Like, dude, I'm fucking going, man. You just convinced me. Yeah, that's yeah.
Make my reservation now.
I don't know.
So yeah, this that's exactly the point. Like, well, we could have played this game, but I mean, it's not gonna. It's I mean, it might be all right. It's not gonna be the game of the month. Not this month.
No.
Medieval VR came out this month, and I've actually heard some people were just kind of meh this game, and then there are other people who are saying that it's awesome. I played a little bit of it. It's all right. It's a pretty standard fare for a boomer shooter. Now, obviously, like the levels look very different than a typical boomer shooter. The you know, it's like they put a different kind of skin on the typical boomer shooter, but it plays very similarly. Um, Eric, did you ever get in and check out a medieval?
I didn't. I don't have access to it. To be honest with you, we don't have access, right?
It's on the
You bought this game on
Oh,
Steam.
frig, I did too. I bought it on Steam on the sale. That's right. I didn't. I'm gonna do it. This is my kind of game. I just need to find time to do it. I just haven't done it yet. But I heard the same things that you did. I heard some people were like, and I heard some people was like, it's pretty good. Nobody said it was like great. But
I
like
do need to play.
shooters, so.
I do need to play a little bit deeper into it. I just played like the first level or two of it. I didn't. There's a lot more game to go, and it might get better. But I mean, it was all right. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I was in there, but I haven't really been back to it. So
Gamertag gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Steam.
Wow.
Tatum says it's awesome, but he's a sucker for those type of games.
Well, yeah, didn't somebody that said if you like Quake, right? They said it's definitely for you, right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely now. I mean, if GT gave it a 4 out of 5, and then
Yeah, GT gave it a very good review. He was legitimately impressed with it.
yeah, I mean, people and like I said, this is my kind of game, so I think I should definitely check it out.
Here's one
Yeah,
from
sure.
the community from Barebow Man. 5 stars. Wow, just wow. This game is fantastic. Retro shooter similar to Heretic and Quake 1. Game follows the mold of greats of old. This is the direction we need to VR to move in.
Wow.
So
Okay.
there you go, Mash.
Wow, that's and Wes, you said you just tried it and you said it was okay. You said
It
you
was
tried
all right. Yeah, it was all right.
How much did you? I mean, you got a good gist of it when you tried it, right?
Yeah, I played a level or two. Like I played the beginning of the game. I put it like an hour and a half into it. It was all right, man. I mean, it was good. It was another 7 in my opinion, but
Well, it's
you know,
got almost look at this, the sliver, like literally a sliver out of 5 stars. It's like a little tiny corner.
it's
of
an
one.
old. It plays like an old game. Like it plays like an old game. Like I don't have any problem with anything people say like about it being good. Sure, it's good, The direction that VR should be heading in, definitely not the direction
Well, okay, but
VR
it's
should be heading in.
retro, so they must have really nailed the gameplay for this
Oh,
type
the
of game,
gameplay's
right?
beautiful. It's so fast. Like it won't be comfortable for some people, like because the movement's super fast and the combat's real fast, like just like an old boomer shooter would be.
Yeah, Rust needs VR support. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Me too.
So yeah, Evil VR. I would recommend people check it out. Especially if you can get it on a sale like the one that it had at launch. I mean, it's like $13 for this and the flat version. It was something super cheap. Moving along, Gambit came out this month, and this is it's going to be a hard one to talk about, guys, because when I get in and play this game, it's so fun. I enjoy playing it so much. And Ruuts, a lot of fixes have been added into this game. They put a list of like fucking 3 dozen fixes that they patched in. So right before the show, Eric and we went in and tried to play on Steam, and we just repeatedly crashed.
Hmm. So they did do the update on the Steam version because I had to update it.
Yep.
Yeah, I had to too. I had to reinstall it actually. I tried to I tried to go and it wouldn't load, and then I had to uninstall it, reinstall it.
What's odd, Eric, is you didn't even have issues with it crashing to begin with. Like I remember Wes did and Skiva did, right? But like,
Eric didn't play with us that day.
Yeah, I was away.
Did you have issues before or no?
No, never, not once. Like when
None of us did.
when we played in the beta before release, I had zero issues. I mean, the jank was limited except for maybe a couple little tiny things, but I thought it was a pretty polished version. Remember,
Yeah.
remember the delay was not the Steam version. The delay was the Quest version. That's why it got delayed originally. The Steam version was pretty much set, but they wanted to do a simultaneous launch, so they delayed it. So somewhere along the lines, they fucking broke the Steam version to the point where it's not playable at all.
Well, look, this tells the tale right here. You've got 100 and how many for Gambit? Like it's a 4 out of 5 stars on Oculus, and I'm looking at the Steam version right now for this, and it's a mostly negative, and it's got 25. Right. 25. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, 25 different reviews. That's it. So
that sucks. That sucks, and we can understand why, certainly.
Yeah.
Eric, for what it's worth, before the first crash, we played most of the way through the first 2 little stages of it, and I mean, even having played that 20 times before, it was still fun to play again, right?
That's the issue with this game. We actually really, really like this game, and it's just disappointing that you can't play it. Like it's in a broken state. Like, I mean, I get that they don't care about PCVR as long as the Quest version plays, because that's where their bread and butter is. But you have a lot of people that have bought this game on Steam. You cannot just abandon it and have it not playable. That's kind of bullshit, in my opinion. So I don't know what is going down with this. They need to get this thing fixed, man. Because again, we like the game. The game's great. It's a really, really fun shooter. Like this, and I think this could have been a really, really well played game. I just don't know now with all the problems that they've had if anybody will go back to it. Like,
part of the problem is your player pool. it also is part of it is Steam. So even if it runs great on the Quest, you're gonna have players that are trying to play with you that are crashing, and like it's a clusterfuck all the way around. And I don't know what they did to fix anything on the Steam if it's still happening. And that was, I mean, so far it's 100% of the people that we know that have tried it, because we've only have you two to go by.
And it's not headset because Wes was in his G2, right? And I'm in my Quest Pro, using the link cable. I wasn't even using Airlink. I was using link cable. So I assume it's broken for everybody. I mean, we did get one game almost in. We almost got through the first level, and then we could not load in not one time after that. I think we tried 3 times after that to load in, and we crashed every time.
Is it bad that I don't like because legitimately earlier today when I had something pop up, I felt bad that I couldn't be there to be with you in Gambit. Now I'm actually feeling glad I didn't that I wasn't there because I don't have this memory of this happening. So
No, you're not
how
jaded now about Gambit.
yeah.
It's too bad because I mean I freaking do love the game, man. The little one-liners that are in there from the characters are funny as hell. The guns feel pretty good. Like you know, there's a lot of upgrade to them. The levels are fairly good. You know,
I like when
I
they
don't like
go
the hit detection
ow. It reminds
I
me
like
of
the hit
Tribe Grey
detection
Wolf.
on the players. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I like the hit detection on the players. Like when you shoot one of the enemies, it's like a red circle for the contact instead of like a. Unless I got like the blood or something or gore turned off. I mean, do you see the same thing when you hit an enemy with a bullet? The hit indicator is just a red
I
circle.
think you're muted, Wes.
I just thought he wasn't answering me.
I don't know how I got muted. There's a little crosshair that pops up on them when you hit them.
Yeah, mine was like a little red circle. It almost seemed like.
Okay.
It's just it's a small thing, but I mean, I just wanted to see like.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So this game crashes on Steam still, even after the update. We're currently talking about Quest 2, which
Oh, that's true.
It ran fine for us on Quest 2. So a lot of the criticism that we've been giving it here does not apply to the task at hand. Here's the thing, though. You know, Gambit's a lot of fun. Is it as fun as Eye of the Temple? Maybe. It's a very different game. Roots, I do think that one thing Eye of the Temple has going for it is that it's always worked perfectly with no jank ever.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, even though I know Eric, you kind of disagreed earlier, but last week, or you had, I guess, had some worries about this game, but clearly the ratings 116, as close to 5 stars as I've seen any game. You know, it's one of a kind. There's not anything like this on any platform. There definitely was nothing like this on the Quest platform. And now people can actually go on an adventure, full VR, you know, in their room with no controllers, and in something that I guess someone like Wolvie would love, right? That you're literally not using controllers to turn at all. You're just using your environment. So super cool.
That's awesome.
But you never know. You never knew if it was gonna. I mean, there was definitely that potential that it might not take off, right? So.
Yeah, I'm super glad it is. I mean, I think my concern, I was afraid for it, not you know what I mean, just because, but not because I thought it was bad. I'm just afraid for it because I was literally, you know, legitimately concerned if people were, you know, over this kind of thing, and they're most definitely not, which is great because I want as many people to buy this game as possible because it deserves to be bought and it's a really good game. But I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah,
And
nobody.
you got to think too. A lot of these Quest only players are in terms of what they've experienced in VR, they're years behind. You know, PC VR gamers or even PlayStation VR gamers in some ways. So yeah, a game like this, while it's kind of old hat to us, like a lot of people are just now seeing this sort of mechanic for the first time. So I'm glad that Mr. Johansson is experiencing such success with it now. We said it would happen, and it looks like it's happening.
There's a lot
awesome.
more noobs on Quest than any other platform.
That's right.
And so, like, this is right up Noob Alley. You know, grandma can get in there and fucking feel badass with her torch and whipping shit and actually, you know, walking forward on the rolling log and all this stuff. And it really does. It's just different. And so much different that I really, even going back in to play it for the show, it just reminded me how much I really enjoy it. And it really does make you feel like it's a puzzle game. It's a really unique puzzle game adventure. Super cool. Definitely worth $20. Amazing reviews, but ironically, this I don't think is good enough to be game of the month. It's like better.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
Because we've had many months where this would have ran away with it, but just so happens that this is the month that Breachers came out. And it's kind of weird, man, because typically we don't include early access titles. And I don't know if this is officially early access or not, But in terms of like the amount of content that's here, Eric, I mean, it kind of feels like it's still early access, right?
It does. It's on this Quest 2 store, so it's definitely not early access. I don't know if it's listed that way on Steam, but it's definitely not Quest 2. So
1,505 ratings on the Quest store, and
yeah.
it's almost 5 stars. That is amazing.
And how many weeks has that been?
That's not even 2.
So let's compare. We just talked about how great Eye of the Temple is. 160 reviews to 1,500 reviews.
Yeah, it just tells you, man.
1,500, son.
People are looking for AAA games in VR, and this is right now on the Quest platform and the PC platform the closest thing you're going to get to Rainbow Six Siege, and people are looking for Rainbow Six Siege in VR. People love that game. And so it's not a shock to me that it's doing well. And guess what? On launch, the fucking multiplayer worked. You could communicate with each other. Like, there's things that other shooters have fucked up so bad that are like 101, and everything ran smooth, and that's a big deal too. So
no, 100%. You're 100% right. Like, that's to me one of the biggest points. What do we always say with a multiplayer shooter? You cannot launch with issues, dude. You'll tank your game before it goes. What was that game, Solaris?
Yeah.
That game was dead on arrival because it was broken, man. Nobody wanted to play it. People tried to play it. There was a few people in there. There was a lot of people in there in the beginning. It was garbage.
If you can't communicate with your teammates, that's a big problem. If you can't group up with your teammates, that's a big problem. And
this is so easy this game is one of the easiest games to get into. I mean, they could use a little bit of help with like navigating their servers and like something like that, small stuff like that, but nothing is broken here. I mean, they launched this game on, multiple platforms and did it pretty flawlessly, man. I got to give them credit for that.
Yeah.
So we did we put it to the chat just to see, and while Breachers is definitely the comfortable winner, it wasn't the runaway that I thought it was going to be. Breachers 60% of the vote, Eye of the Temple 30% of the vote, and then a Medieval bringing up the rear with 10%. Gambit, no votes.
Gamertag VR 5 stars, best tactical FPS in VR.
Wow.
I felt like that at first. I'm not so sure I like this game better than Firewall anymore. Like Firewall, I stuck with for years and never really got tired of it. Like this game, it has potential.
If you rewind to me, my conversation when Breachers first dropped, I was saying the same thing. This is better than Firewall. But after playing it enough, I think Firewall will have it, at least the new version. I know the old version is true about this. Will have a leg up on it because it's got progression. I can level my guns. I can level my characters. I can unlock characters. There's none of that in Breachers. Like what you get is what you have. Or what you have is what you get. So you're not. There's nothing to keep you coming back outside of the love of that type of game.
Did Firewall ship with all the stuff they have now? Like,
no,
was it more bare bones?
Well, I mean, it's got a fucking ton of shit now.
It had the progression system. Right? That's always been there, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, there's more maps now that got added when they started doing seasonal. There's more weapons. There's a lot more stuff now than when it launched. But when it launched, it was still probably 2/3 of what it was now, or what it is now in terms of just the sheer amount of content. But Ruuts is right. There was a full progression system, like a deep progression system in Firewall from day one. And there was still like 6 maps that it launched with, or 8, something like that.
Yeah.
It was way bigger than, and offers a lot more than Breachers does in that way when it launched. Although, I mean, it comes from a bigger studio that had Sony money behind it. It should be, right?
I still believe that Firewall 0 Hour, they're two different approaches. Firewall wanted to be Rainbow Six Siege of VR, and Breachers wanted to be as close to Firewall, as close to Rainbow Six Siege, but its own, a little bit different, unique. both are different approaches. Both are good approaches, and you know, it's just a different, I guess, what you like out of it. You know,
If I was Breachers right now, I would be publicizing my roadmap. I would have it everywhere. Like
Right.
Yes.
whatever I have coming, even if I decided not to do it in the end, but if I have like my grandeur plan of this is what's going to be here by the end of the year, I would be telling everybody. Like I would have it everywhere right now, and that they don't have it out now, and they're just teasing a map that we don't know when might come. It makes me nervous. I mean, it does, because I would be like shouting it from the rooftops. We have seasonal content coming. We have progression coming if it's coming. We have 3 new maps coming by the end of the year, or 4 new maps coming by the end of the year. We have, put it all out there. Let us know that
Yeah.
you're working on it. Let us know that that you're not going to just like be done with this game, and give us some ideas. And try, and I think Triangle Factory will, but I would get it out there now.
Yeah. So for what it's worth, this is what we want. This is the potential of the game. But as it stands today, with the 3 maps and like maybe 20 guns or whatever it has, hands down the game of the month, and there's not really a close second, right?
Nope.
Yeah, it's definitely an amazing game. It's really good. They need to keep going. Like somebody was saying in the chat, a D1 or I guess D1 360 VR says keep the momentum going, Breachers devs. Exactly. Just keep adding and give us more reasons to go back in. We need more maps. This is the reality. I don't want a teaser for one map. I want to hear what Wes said. We've got like 5 maps coming in the next 6 months or whatever. One map, it's just not enough. And I know that's not where they're going to end, but when am I going to get 3 maps, 5 maps, 6 maps? Is it going to be a year and a half? So
Give us some big maps, like with multiple floors that we can run through with our grappling hooks, but maybe a little more open than the tactical maps. Like that would be a lot of fun to do, like a death match through like a sizable map instead of like a room that has fixed spawn points where people can just sit right on top of the spawn points and pick you off. Like, yeah.
I mean, the good news is Triangle Factory is a good team. They know what to do. I hope they have big plans, and I think they should. I don't think they'll abandon this game. I think they know what they have here, that they have something special if they can continue it. So I do think that they will probably, get out there and get some stuff. But Roots is right. Like, it's good to tease a map, but if you said, look, we have 3 maps coming, here's the first one. You know what I mean? We had 3 maps coming by the first of the year. Here's the first one. That's all you would need to do. You didn't need to give dates. You don't need to give exact dates. Just tell us you have this many maps coming by the end of the year, and then you start teasing that first one. Then that one has more impact, because then you're actively waiting for it.
yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, Breacher's Easy Quest 2 game of the month. I wouldn't. I'm not so sure if it will be game of the year, but if it gets some of these updates that we're talking about, this could be in the conversation for game of the year at the end of the year. It has that kind of potential. Time will tell if it fulfills it.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of games to come out.
Uh,
7 months.
so as we move into PCVR, then a lot of the same names here. I mean, we had a Medieval, which is the version that I played was the Steam version. We had Gambit again, which does not run at all.
It's tough to vote for a game you can't play.
Yeah. And then we had Agony VR. This one a little bit different. This one only came out on PC. Really a game of the month candidate? Probably not, Eric. I mean, this isn't a game that that everyone's going to get into. It's a little bit graphic.
Yeah, I mean, you said you said a lot of people were telling you that you need to play this game, because this is like
Yeah.
like a game that's right up your alley, like a perfect game for you. So, but that's probably not my game. But man, I think I would love to see you get into this game, maybe stream this game to get a better idea of what it's all about.
Yeah. So I couldn't stream this unless I were to put it like an age restriction on it. Like,
Yeah, well, you do a late night one or something.
yeah, maybe.
It
But yeah,
makes sense. I
sorry.
couldn't pull up my I don't know where your camera went either. I must have done something. Oh, there we go. I couldn't pull up the page for Agony. It's telling me that I need to be logged into my account. Like, and
Oh, there
it's
you
so
go.
fucking crazy that it's like, no, dude, sorry, you're not looking at this. How crazy is that?
Is this a flat
Yeah,
game they made into VR? Is that what it is?
this is a VR version that they built of a flat game. It's not like a port. They started to do a port. I think this is a little bit different than the flat version, maybe.
Hmm.
It was developed by a different studio, so I'm sure that a lot of the stuff is ported, but I do think it's a little bit different. They didn't give you this version for owning the flat version. You had to buy a new version or new copy of it
Hmm.
for a different price, for a lower price, admittedly. Um, but yeah, I played the demo for this during one of the Steam fests, and I thought it was all right. It's a walking sim of sorts. Um, it was a bit janky when I played that demo. So I was kind of surprised, Eric, because you were right. People have come to me and suggested that I play this game and said it's pretty good. And for what it's worth, Roots, even though it only has like 5 or 10 reviews on Steam, they're all positive reviews.
Oh, wow. Well, I know Awesome Tatum says they tried Agony VR demo. It's pretty freaky, but was having trouble as well getting it to run well. It was a little
Yeah.
janky. So I don't know if that was the demo is the same build or not, but I mean, I would imagine that if it ran really shitty, then you wouldn't have any positive reviews, right? You'd have more negative than
Right.
positive. So definitely need to get in there and check it out and stream it, Wes. Like Eric said, do it late night, put a warning on it, you know.
Yeah, maybe. I definitely want to play it. But again, when we're talking about game of the month,
Mm.
I didn't find it necessary to play this because again, Breachers came out this month, and Breachers is playable on PCVR, not only on Steam but also on the Oculus Store. And I mean, a lot of people, Eric, that's playing Breachers, playing on PC, right?
That's how I always play. I think I've only checked out the Quest version once, but I do think the Steam version looks a little bit better than the Quest version. So I always play it on the Steam version.
So Roots, they have what's called a spectator mode on this game, so that you can just watch the action without participating. And the reason they did that was to make it easier for Quest gamers to stream. So like you don't have to use like Link or anything to play on your PC to capture it. You can play the game on your Quest, log your PC into spectator mode, catch that view and stream that.
Wow, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like with Eric. I guess this makes sense. If I had a 1060 or something, I might be different. With a 3080 Ti, I'm always going to gravitate towards the PC version every time, unless there's absolutely no difference, and then I'm still going to probably use it on my PC as well. So
Right,
it's
right.
just the way it
There's
is.
not a lot. There's not a lot of difference with this game. This is very much a Quest game on PC, but it's still fun, and it's still by far the most popular game that came out this month.
607 reviews. It had very positive reviews here. So
That's a lot for a
607 is
Steam
actually
game.
pretty good. It's actually pretty good for Steam. And it's not 1,500, but that's pretty damn good, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, for a Steam game, that's yeah, it's pretty awesome.
well, and the negative review, like this one says that every public server is full of Quest kids. It feels like I'm in a British daycare, so they're gonna thumb it down. Like, well, I don't like. I mean, it's just a good review after good review. So
Yep, it's a good game.
Yeah.
And again, I mean, no question, this is the PC game. I mean, if it's the Quest game of the month with all that competition, it's definitely the PC game of the month, right?
yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. Not even close.
So that's that. Quest 2 and PCVR overall game of the month. Breachers PSVR 2 Creed Championship Edition, and that's only because Breachers didn't come out on PSVR 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And it is planning on coming, right?
Nothing definite on that. Just the kind of usual favorable response we get from devs, like we'd like to someday.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see. it'll be different. It'll be a different game for them on PSVR as well because Firewall's already such an established brand over there. They'd have real competition on PSVR, where that's maybe not so much the case on Quest and PC.
Yeah,
What if they
absolutely.
went free to play with seasons?
Yeah, I'd be down if they could put the content out to support seasons. That'd be awesome.
That's what I would do. I think that's what I would do. This Breachers could be an all-time great game if they made it free to play with you buy seasons like you do in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Battle passes or season, whatever you want to call it.
It could definitely be something to do. Like if their lobbies start to dwindle,
Mm-hmm.
like that kind of move might make a whole lot of sense. Anyway, let's move along to what's out this week. The games that we're going to be talking about maybe is game of the month at the end of May, which I don't know. This May's already looking like it's going to be way different month than April, and this is going to be a whole episode when we do game of the month for May. But we start off with a game that isn't out this week, actually.
Baby steps, Smash. Baby steps.
Zenith, the last city VR MMO PvP combat update arrives May 11th. Eric, that's this week.
Coming. It's here almost.
4 days.
Finally here. How long have we been waiting on this? Like
Oh my
Cyber
God.
Ninja, all this extra content. We've been waiting a minute on this.
It seems like the Cyber Ninja has been teased for like 8 months or something like that.
It's been a long time.
Literally, what I mean, I don't know. I went in there for the PlayStation when the PlayStation came out just to look at it, but I mean, literally that before that, we were talking about the Cyber Ninja when we were playing. So I think I hadn't been in there for like 6 or 7 months.
Floating Ruuts was still a thing
Ruuts
when
Mountain.
I last played this. Yeah.
Ruuts Mountain. That's when I was the last time I was in here as well. How crazy. Super cool
It's been
to
like
see
a year, dude. It's been like a year.
Well, it's cool to see them continue to keep adding to this game and like I was saying, baby steps. They're getting to their goal of what they're envisioned what the game is. And it's cool to see it finally come out.
Here's the thing: to fully kind of digest all the new stuff and all this that this game has to offer. Like if we cover this game, which I'm thinking we probably should, because I haven't tried it on PSVR 2 yet. But if we cover this game, I mean, how are we going to find time to play anything else that week? I mean, you're gonna have to put so much fucking time into this just to see all the shit that it's crazy. There's a lot of content here.
That's true. We'd have to do it separate too because we only have the one key for PlayStation VR 2, or it is crossplay, right?
It is crossplay. It is, but I mean, if we cover this on PSVR 2, we'll all cover it on PSVR 2. We'll get keys for everybody. That's not a problem. Anyway, I'm excited for it, man. About as excited as I could be for one of these type of games. And I'm glad it's been a year. So more to come on this one certainly by the end of the month or maybe mid next month.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not the only thing notable coming to PlayStation VR 2 in on May 11th.
I'm more excited about this one.
Walkabout Mini Golf finally coming to PSVR 2 this week, May 11th. Eric, one of the most popular games on Quest, John Carmack's favorite game, moving over to Sony this week. It's you know, even though PSVR 2's only been out a couple months, it's about damn time, right?
Heck yeah, man. I mean, how is this game not been there? Like, it should have been on the PSVR one. Forget about the PSVR 2.
For real.
I mean, literally. I don't know, I mean, I know that they focused most of their time on making these courses, and you got to believe at one point they were going to be on PlayStation VR 1 and they just said, let's just wait, right? At this point, most people aren't using their PlayStation VR 1. Let's just hold. We'll wait for the PSVR 2 to come, get through launch to where people have it, and then we'll put it out there when we think the surge is coming. We'll put it out there and we'll sell a whole bunch of DLC for it and the game, and it's going to be amazing. And I think that's what they probably most likely happened with it.
Makes perfect business sense, but Ruuts sucks for the players, right? People have been waiting on it until now. There's going to be a lot of hype behind it now because these PSVR gamers finally get to play mini golf every night for the rest of their life.
Yeah, exactly. They get to play the best mini golf game that I've ever played, flat or VR. It's like Brian said, the physics are better somehow than real world physics. You know what I mean? That the game is just amazing. And I actually was debating picking up all the DLCs the other day for the Quest. You know how it was on sale for the Quest? I think it still might be. And but my question is it cross buy for Quest and the Rift? Because again, I will never play this game on the Quest. So I didn't want to buy all these maps and then not have access to them because I'm not playing on the Quest version. You guys know? Or
Yeah, I have no idea if the maps are cross buy or not. What I do know is coming to PSVR 2, they have a pack that has it all bundled in and with like a pretty significant discount on it. It's like $35 for the game and all the DLC.
That's worth it.
It
Big
is.
time. That's a great deal, really. I mean, there's a ton of courses, man.
Every course is amazing in its own right. And just being able to collect the balls and do all the extra stuff is worth it. But I think, like I said, just even going by myself playing, which I've done, is super cool on these courses. Loves to play.
Who else always collects the balls
and likes to play with himself?
My mom!
Yeah, she's crazy like that. I tell her to stop.
you try.
At least in public, please. People are looking.
Right.
Please.
That's a good point. So May 11th, bringing the Zenith update. May 11th, bringing Walkabout Mini Golf to PSVR 2. May 11th just keeps on giving, though.
Tell the story.
There, perched on the rock, an old rival of mine. It was time to show hands once more. This time it was my turn.
Use your new claw.
I needed a new angle on the situation.
So you just popped your head off, Papa?
You have to adapt if you want to change your fortune. You must hear how I escaped the bloodthirsty Budmer pirates.
What happened next, Papa?
My greatest story is yet to come, Kenrick.
Another Fisherman's Tale adventures to PSVR 2 again on May 11th. Um, so people earlier were talking about just how much you don't like puzzle games. Tell those people how you feel about this puzzle game.
Everybody gets me so wrong, man. Well, because I say one thing, everybody's all over me. I actually really like puzzle games. I don't like frustrating puzzle games that I have to like write shit down in or read text for freaking 4 days to figure shit out. That's what I don't like. I like Fisherman's Tale. The original Fisherman's Tale is fantastic. This one was really, really, really good. It was one of the best games I played last week, and the only reason I stopped playing is because I really needed to get done so I could get in and do the show on Wednesday. And I will go in and finish that game because I think I'm only about halfway, guys. I think we're all pretty close, I think. But I love this game, man. This is a non-frustrating, great puzzle game with a great story, by the way.
I get what you're saying though about the reading. Like that's the reason why I never really got into Elden Ring. It was because like every item in the game has a fucking essay on it when you click on it, and I want to know all that stuff, but I don't want to read all that stuff. So I just kind of got away from it. You
You
kind of
don't
have to know a lot of it,
you don't have to read that stuff, but I'll tell you
not
what, I
all
had
of
the
it.
same thing with Borderlands 2 and 3. It's like every
Dude,
5 million guns, and I'm like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? At some point, I don't want to look at another gun. I just got this one, you know?
But you can't help it. You can't help it. You have to look and see how much it's worth and how rare it is. So literally, you spend half of the game shooting and the other half of the game comparing fucking guns. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Hey, can I just mention that freaking Mickey Burr is such a freaking amazing dude. He has dropped a key for every game that pretty much we've talked about that's available for him to get a key for. Insane.
yeah,
That is
Mickey
insane.
Berry is hitting the chat again with another Steam key, Fisherman's Tale.
It's
I
almost
still haven't
like we
played that.
planned it, and I promise you we did not. Mickey is
We
just
did
that
not.
fucking Chad awesome,
Yeah,
dude.
Hell yeah, he is.
yeah. Thanks, Mickey. Thanks for being
Well,
so
Spry,
awesome.
the best thing about Borderlands is getting new guns. You're right. It's just there's so many. But that's exactly why I said that Breachers versus Firewall Zero Hour is a different it's two different things, or I guess Ultra. You're kind of set with one. The other, you're progressing guns. Like it's just one's gonna have a longer longevity of something to do to keep you wanting to go back. So
It's a lot of content in Borderlands too, right? Like we probably played 15% of the entire thing that came in 2 VR with all the DLC and everything that was already
why has
packed in.
nobody made a Borderlands 2 PCVR mod to be able to where you can
It's
to
probably
co-op,
it's
right? Like, because that was the one thing that sucked. Everybody's like, dude, I love the fact that I can play this game. Or was that 3 or whatever? No, I guess it's 2, right?
no, it was two. It was two.
And
You're right.
but I can't play it with my friends, right? That was like the best part of that game. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, I never played the original one, but you're right. That's the one thing everyone said when Borderlands 2 VR came out. Said it's going to suck because it's not co-op.
yeah, dude, there's that fucking car or whatever, that thing that you ride around in. One person gets to gun it and the other person drives. It's badass, dude. There's some really cool stuff in that game for co-op, and it kind of sucks that you can't do that in VR.
Agreed. So you're right. I'm kind of surprised too that people haven't modded it in. I mean, people mod all the other games in, like Fallout 4 and
Mhm.
Elden Ring,
Skyrim.
you can
They,
do,
they mod flat Skyrim into VR, even though there's Skyrim VR.
and they've Hogwarts Legacy. They already have not only the game in VR, but they've got a mod that lets you play like multiplayer, like 10 people or something. So
Anyway, another Fisherman's Tale out this week as well. Pretty good week for VR. Walkabout, Fisherman's Tale, Zenith, and that's all stuff out on Thursday. So be sure to well, why don't we go right now and just kind of wish list one of these? I mean, it's time. It's time. It's that time again where we ask you all to just give a few minutes and a few clicks to going and clicking on a game, supporting a developer by wish listing, or even, if you got a little more time, leave a review. That's even better. Um, I don't know, man. Well, talked about a lot of different stuff today. I don't know if we talked about a lot of different stuff we haven't wish listed already. Um, I guess X8. I'm going to check out and see if I can find a page for X8.
Is
Maybe
that going to
we
be a
can do
Steam
that
game
one.
too? I don't even know.
Yeah. Steam and Quest.
trying to find Walkabout
think-
mini golf here
Yeah,
on PlayStation VR too. I love their website, by the way. It's really easy to find games.
yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
The best.
It just makes you wonder. It's like these, all of a sudden they just decided, you know what? I don't think we should let people try to find our games anymore. What can we do to make it difficult for them? I think I Walkabout. Maybe there's Dash and golf. I don't know.
There's
All
an
right, I
X8
am-
is listed in Steam.
I am
I'm
wish
gonna-
listing. I'll tell you guys what. I'm going to list this two. I'm doing another Fisherman's Tale on Steam because I played on the Quest,
That's right.
and I'm going to wish
You
list.
played on
see.
PlayStation VR too,
Or
didn't you?
PlayStation VR 2. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
Yeah, that's right.
PSVR 2. So, yep, wish listed on Steam. Fisherman's Tale and X8.
Nice.
X8 on what platform?
I did it on
I'm on-
Steam.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
doing on Steam.
Is it coming to Quest? I can't pull up my Steam.
App Lab.
Oh God, fuck the App Lab.
You got to spell it exactly perfect with the right spacing and font, or you can't find it.
Nah, it's just not worth finding it then.
I actually had a game the other day that I spelled incorrectly, and it did show up.
Really?
Yeah, and it was weird because it did show up, and it showed the thumbnail for the App Lab game without me having to click on the thing at the bottom, without having me to
Oh,
go down
really?
to the app. Yeah, I don't. Me and Skiba were talking about it because we think maybe there's a change going on because we tried a different game with the same thing and it didn't show up. So I don't know if they're testing something or if they're working through something. So it's something to keep an eye out with for this though.
Well, it'd be great. That'd be great if you
Yeah.
can get some of these App Lab games on the main store, right? Because
least show the
there's some good
thumbnail.
stuff. Speaking of which, by the way, I didn't put this in the notes for out this week, but there's something else coming to Quest this week as well from App Lab, and that is the original Windlands, which is awesome because it should have been on the fucking Quest store the whole time anyway.
Yeah. When's Winslands 2 coming?
Windows 2's already on the main store. Windows
right,
1
right.
hasn't been.
Right. That was
Yeah.
weird that 2 ship went right directly and then they didn't put the first one there.
Yeah.
It just shows you there's more to it than, I mean, the game Windlands 1 there was no reason it shouldn't have been on there to begin with. You know?
Yeah, same with To the Top and a bunch of other games. It'll be good if they make it so that these games are easier to be found because it's currently too difficult to locate a game. Even if you know exactly what you're looking for, it's not something that you could do without thinking about it sometimes. You have to pay attention to what you're doing and really look and find it.
The good news is the world is full of very excellent spellers, Wes. There's nobody that
That's a good point, Ruuts.
Society's not going down, it's going up. So
That's a good point.
how many games do you think end up not getting bought because people misspell it? Because my instinct would be like, oh, it doesn't exist, or I guess it's not out there. Or...
How many more copies do you think a To the Top would have sold if it actually was on the main Quest store versus being on App Lab? I mean, it would have
Thousands.
been by magnitude of 10. You know what I mean? At least.
Yeah.
You would think.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess that brings us to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can support us, our channel, our community, and our content. And of course, the best way to do that, as we have mentioned a couple times already, is to subscribe. Big red button, bell right next to it. It'll notify you 30 minutes before we're 30 minutes late. And uh, and you'll know when we're going live. So you can hang out and chat and hear about all the latest in VR gaming. Of course, if you're already subscribed, if you want to do something a little more, you can support us on Patreon. Less than a dollar per week. $3 a month. That's all we ask. You get access to our weekly show notes, insider updates, exclusive content, uh, just a few bucks. And you also get a peace of mind of knowing that you did everything you could to help us bring the best for you. Um, by the way, shout out to Diego Darko, new Patreon subscriber. Rich, how about that?
Oh, I love Diego. He's awesome.
Great. Thank you, Diego, and thank you to
Yeah.
everyone who donates via YouTube or via Patreon. Like, we very much appreciate it. You allow us to do things that we wouldn't typically be able to do. It's because of your generosity, and we appreciate it.
Yep.
But if you're broke like the rest of us, don't fear. You can always come and hang out with us on Discord. This is the place that we pretty much hang out all the time. Always lurking, always around to talk about a mythical headset or a dude running from the police or whatever the topic of the moment is. And it's absolutely free. All you have to do is click the invitation link down below, and we're there right now, aren't we, Roots?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, literally, the show is beaming to you through Discord.
Yeah. Discord is where everything is happening. As a matter of fact, well, I won't even. There's even sometimes people stream, specific Discord only streams just for you.
Yep.
So
That's a thing, Eric. That's totally a thing.
Heck yeah. You look at Ghost of Tabor. There's people streaming in there, multiple
Oh,
people
God.
streaming in there every day, like every hour of the day.
Yeah,
Like, I'll take a
all
look
the
right
time.
now. There's 28 people streaming right now in Ghost of Tabor, live streaming.
it's a great stepping stone for somebody that's not ready to get onto a website, right? It's easy to set up. You get yourself set. Speaking of streaming, Dee's going to be streaming later on tonight. Check her out on Twitch. I just linked it. She needs 5 more followers to be 50.
5 more.
That's it. Just 5. So you could be,
Just go click it.
you could help her get over that hump. And you know who loves to get over the hump, Wes?
My mom!
Yeah, she does.
I mean, Roots, they all just went out of their way to click, just put a few clicks in for some dev that they've never met. This
That's
is D
true.
we're talking.
Yeah, this is Chinatown D.
Yeah.
We can go click. I clicked the minute that it went up, or not very long thereafter.
Yeah.
After I found it, after I finally found it, clicked on it that day.
I told her, get your picture on there. Everybody needs to see your, you know what I mean? That same, that's for everything else. So
I want to watch her play Resident Evil.
yeah. Hey D, you should stream. Oh wait, we've already been down that road, Wes. I think she's going.
I'm not sleepy this week, Roots.
I think she said she's going to record it and then probably find a place to post it. I said maybe Eric and Todd could share it with the patrons or something, or who knows, So.
Yeah, I like it. So
Yeah, our pages. I gotta add her to like all of our stuff.
Yeah. It's official D.
Official D. It's
Yeah.
proper.
Oh, that's our new name, Official D.
Yeah, you know who loves an official D?
My mom!
It's got to be official. Oh, never mind. She'll take non-official as
No,
well.
no, it don't. Unofficial is just as good.
Unofficial, official.
Better in some ways.
That's true.
Anyway, I think that's our show, folks. So with that said, we'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots and Eric, I'm Wes. We'll see you in a few days. Bye.
Take it easy.
See you later.